Chapter 108. I'm Ren Tianxing, the head escort of the Sky Escort Agency. These are my two daughters, Qing Luo and Qing Yu. 3 days ago, we found you while we were escorting you. At that time, you were in a very bad condition. Seeing that you look good now, I'm relieved that you've recovered well. Ren Tianxing laughed heartily and reported his name. It turned out that the cold-looking beauty was Ren Qing Luo, and the little girl was Ren Qing Yu. Ren Qing Luo glanced at Ling Xiao coldly, her eyes full of vigilance. Ren Qing Yu, on the other hand, hid behind Ren Tianxing and made a cute face at Ling Xiao. Thank you for saving me, head escort Ren. Ling Xiao can't thank you enough. Ling Xiao cupped his fist respectfully and said seriously. This gratitude came from the bottom of his heart. Ling Xiao spread his mental strength and sensed that he was still in the depths of the fearsome beast mountain range. If Ren Tianxing and the others hadn't saved him, Ling Xiao would have died in the stomach of the fearsome beasts after being unconscious for 3 days. You're welcome, little brother. We're all from the Jianghu. It's our duty to help each other when we're outside. I'm relieved to see that you've recovered. May I know where this little brother is from? How did you suffer such heavy injuries? Ren Tianxing waved his hand generously and asked curiously. Just call me Ling Xiao, head escort. I'm from the capital city. I came to the fearsome beast mountain range to train, but I didn't expect to encounter a powerful fearsome beast. Although I escaped death in the end, I suffered heavy injuries. Ling Xiao smiled bitterly. In that case, I won't stand on ceremony. Ling Xiao, you're from the capital city. What a coincidence. Our Sky Escort Agency is located in Qinghua City, which is very close to the capital city. If you don't mind, why don't you follow us? We can take care of each other along the way. Ren Tianxing said with a hint of surprise in his eyes. Thank you, head escort. I won't disobey. Ling Xiao agreed with a smile. His meridians were all broken and he needed time to heal. He didn't have any problems on his own, but seeing how forthright Ren Tianxing was, Ling Xiao had a good impression of him and didn't reject his good intentions. Good. Since that's the case, you should recuperate well. I won't disturb you any further. Ren Tianxing smiled. A sliver of worry flashed across his face. He pulled Ren Qing Yu away from the tent. Ling Xiao keenly sensed Ren Tianxing's worry. At the same time, he also sensed the faint baleful aura coming from Ren Tianxing's body. Before Ren Qing Luo left the tent, she paused for a moment. She didn't turn around, and with her back facing Ling Xiao, she said calmly, Do you know? We encountered a lot of strange things during this escort mission. We were constantly attacked by various ferocious beasts on the way and lost a lot of uncles. Many of them had followed my father for decades, but now they were buried in the ferocious beast mountain range. Ren Qing Luo turned around, her cold gaze landing on Ling Xiao's face, carrying a trace of stubbornness and poignant beauty. Actually, when father and you, wanted to save you 3 days ago, I wasn't too willing. Because bringing a burden like you along would cause even more uncles to lose their lives. But father and you, still saved you. In order to protect you, 2 more uncles have died in the hands of the ferocious beasts. Ren Qing Luo's words were very direct, causing Ling Xiao to be slightly stunned. I'm very sorry, but actually, I'm really not a burden. If we encounter any danger, you don't have to care about me at all. Ling Xiao laughed bitterly and said seriously. I know that this isn't your fault, but I'm still very sad. Ren Qing Luo's figure looked a little frail at this moment, so weak that it made one's heart ache. Grief flashed across her eyes for a moment, but she quickly regained her cool appearance. Father told me that you're not an ordinary person. And you just said that you're from the Imperial City. Ren Qing Luo's eyes looked at Ling Xiao with a faint sense of expectation. Now that all the veins in your body are broken, you're no different from an ordinary person. I don't know why father thinks so highly of you. But, if we really encounter any danger that we can't withstand, I hope that you can save your's life on account of us saving you. Please. Ren Qing Luo gritted her teeth and bowed deeply to Ling Xiao. Then, she turned around and walked out of the tent, leaving behind the delicate fragrance of a young girl. Ling Xiao rubbed his nose and laughed bitterly. Ling Xiao could understand this stubborn young girl's conflicted feelings. After all, so many people close to her died in order to save a stranger. No one would feel good about it. Looks like I have to quickly recover my cultivation. Only then can I help them kill the ferocious beasts and protect their safety. This can be considered as repaying their favor. Ling Xiao thought to himself. He sat cross-legged on the bed and a white jade bottle appeared in his hand. There were more than 10 perfectly round green elixirs in it. These were the peerless elixirs that he had refined before leaving the Changshan sect, the spirit cleansing elixir. The spirit cleansing elixir was a top-grade healing elixir. For strong cultivators below the Grandmaster realm, as long as they didn't cause irreversible injuries, they could recover very quickly. Even for Grandmasters, it had a certain effect. Moreover, the elixirs refined by Ling Xiao were all of superior quality. They were flawless, without a trace of impurities. Ling Xiao swallowed 3 spirit cleansing elixirs. A cool and pure energy flowed throughout his body. Ling Xiao began to use the sky-devouring secret skill and began to refine the efficacy of the spirit-cleansing elixir to repair his damaged meridians. His entire body was wrapped in dense spiritual light. The surrounding spiritual energy of heaven and earth rushed toward his body to speed up the healing process. In this way, Ling Xiao's damaged meridians recovered by 20% in one night. The injuries to his internal organs were also much better. It seemed that he would need less than 10 days to fully recover his cultivation in 5 or 6 days. This was also the reason why the spirit-cleansing elixir and the sky-devouring secret skill were too heaven-defying. Otherwise, even if others had the spirit-cleansing elixir, it would be impossible for them to fully recover their cultivation even if their meridians were broken. Ling Xiao, who had cultivated the sky-devouring secret skill, had meticulous control over his own genuine qi. He could clearly grasp the existence of every injury and heal them with incomparable precision. After daybreak, Ling Xiao was arranged in a carriage and followed the Heaven Escort Agency through the fearsome Beast Mountain Range. 5 days passed in the blink of an eye. Ling Xiao's injuries had recovered by 90%. He was only a little bit away from being completely healed. After this injury, Ling Xiao found that his meridians had become thicker and stronger. His pulse was like a dragon and had become stronger. His physique was evolving in a non-human direction. Chapter 109. Apart from Ren Tianxing, Ren Qingluo, and Ren Qingyu, there were dozens of escorts in the Sky Escort Agency. Among these escorts, there were 4 in the Dragon Tiger realm, 12 in the Spirit Transformation realm, and the rest were all in the True Qi realm. According to Ren Qingluo, there were originally 9 Dragon Tiger realm escorts. They were all loyal subordinates of Ren Tianxing. Over the past few days, more than half of them had died, leaving only 4 people. In the past 5 days, the Sky Escort Agency had been attacked by several waves of demonic beasts. Although Ling Xiao's cultivation hadn't fully recovered, his hidden weapon technique was still very powerful. He had secretly killed many rank 3 and rank 4 demonic beasts. Although some of the Sky Escort Agency's people were injured, no one died. The originally declining morale began to gradually rise. When Ren Tianxing said that they were only 100 miles away from leaving the fearsome Beast Mountain Range, everyone became very excited. Ling Xiao, come drink. A burly man with a full beard handed Ling Xiao a wineskin as he laughed. Ling Xiao smiled as he took it and drank a mouthful. Suddenly, a spicy taste rushed into his throat. At the same time, a warm current flowed through his body, warming his hands and feet. Old Wu, this is really good wine. Ling Xiao nodded and praised, then threw the wine bag to the burly man. At this moment, the sky was already dark. The fearsome Beast Mountain Range was very cold and gloomy. Many escorts sat around the fire in groups of 3 to 5. They were very happy as they drank wine and ate meat. After dawn, they would be able to completely leave the fearsome Beast Mountain Range. At that time, they would really be safe. Of course. This wine is personally brewed by niece Qing Luo. She added various spiritual herbs. It's very strong. Old Wu took the bottle and took a sip, then laughed proudly. Old Wu's name was Wu Dazhong. He had the highest cultivation among the 4 Dragon Tiger Realm escorts, reaching the 8th level of the Dragon Tiger Realm. He was born with great strength and was good at using a mountain-splitting axe. He was Ren Tianqing's most capable subordinate. In the past 5 days, Ling Xiao had gradually become familiar with the people of the Sky Escort Agency. He had a good impression of this group of forthright men. Old Wu, do you feel that something is wrong? Ling Xiao looked at the dark forest in the distance with a faint light in his eyes. What's wrong? Ling Xiao, don't think too much about it. We'll be able to leave this damned beast mountain range tomorrow. At that time, we'll go to the best brothel in Qinghua City. You can choose from the best brothel there. I, Old Wu, will treat you. Old Wu laughed nonchalantly as he drank. Old Wu, you've encountered a total of 32 fierce beast attacks in the past half a month at the Fierce Beast Mountain Range. You've lost 5 Dragon Tiger Realm escorts, 13 Spirit Transformation Realm escorts, and more than 20 True Qi Realm escorts. More than half of the Heaven Escort Agency's forces have been lost, and we've encountered fierce beast attacks almost twice a day. Do you really think this is a coincidence? Ling Xiao said indifferently. Although the surroundings were brightly lit by bonfires, Ling Xiao did not feel any warmth. Instead, he felt a sense of danger enveloping this place. Are you saying that someone is targeting my Heavenly Escort Agency? Old Wu frowned and a cold light flashed in his eyes. How could Old Wu not feel pain after losing so many old brothers who had gone through thick and thin with him? However, those old brothers had all died in the hands of fierce beasts, and most of those fierce beasts had been killed by them. It could be considered revenge, so what if he felt pain? However, after hearing Ling Xiao's words, Old Wu also felt that something was wrong. It was as if there really was a pair of eyes watching them in the dark. Wherever they went, fierce beasts would follow. Even someone as careless as Old Wu felt that something was wrong. I've been observing for the past few days. Your escort agency has avoided the nests of some powerful fierce beasts, but there are still rank 3 and rank 4 demonic beasts. There are even rank 5 demonic beasts that appear a few times. These high-rank demonic beasts rarely leave their nests, let alone attack you for no reason. I'm afraid there's something fishy going on. Ling Xiao slowly said. He felt that the danger around them was getting stronger. I also feel it. I'm afraid someone is trying to frame my Heavenly Escort Agency. Ren Qing Luo said slowly as she walked over and looked at Ling Xiao with a complicated expression. However, every time our Heavenly Escort Agency carries out an escort mission, we choose a very secluded path. It shouldn't be discovered by anyone, let alone luring demonic beasts to attack us. Especially this time, we're escorting from Dongyang City to Qinghua City. Most of the road is filled with fierce beasts. I really don't understand. If someone is trying to frame my Heavenly Escort Agency, how did they do it? Ren Qingluo's eyes were full of doubts. After so many days of being attacked by demonic beasts for no reason, Ren Qingluo naturally began to have doubts in her heart. However, she didn't have any evidence and couldn't find the source of the demonic beasts' attacks. Therefore, although she was suspicious, there was nothing she could do. Ling Xiao thought for a moment, and his heart skipped a beat. He asked, what kind of goods are you guys betting this time? Can you let me take a look? Escort? Are you suspecting that there's something wrong with the goods we're escorting this time? Ren Qingluo was smart and instantly guessed the problem. I'm not sure. It's just a guess. Can you let me take a look at the goods you're escorting? Ling Xiao asked. Ren Qingluo struggled for a moment and was a little embarrassed. After all, the rules of the escort agency stated that they couldn't check the goods they were escorting. If they saw the goods they were escorting, they would be breaking the rules. However, Ren Qingluo only hesitated for a moment and said decisively, okay. I'll go find father. Ren Qingluo also knew the severity of the matter, so she quickly made a decision. Not long after, Ren Tianqing came over and looked at Ling Xiao with a dignified expression. Ling Xiao, are you suspecting that there's something wrong with the goods we're escorting? They're all here. In fact, I've already checked them myself. They're all medicinal herbs. There's nothing wrong with them. Take a look. Ren Tianqing waved his hand and two people immediately carried a huge iron box over. The lock had already been pried open, revealing the medicinal herbs inside. After all, not everyone in the Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom had a storage bag. Storage bags were incomparably precious. Only those martial arts sacred grounds, the royal family's treasury, and the great aristocratic families had storage bags. However, they all regarded them as precious treasures. Although Ling Xiao had obtained so many storage bags, they were all obtained from the upper echelons of the Hehuan sect and the demonic palace. It was impossible for ordinary disciples to have a storage bag. Therefore, the existence of an escort agency had a special value. Chapter 110. Head Escort, who asked you to escort this mission? Tell me the details. Ling Xiao looked at the iron box carefully. His eyes flashed and he had an idea. He raised his head and looked at Ren Tianqing. Okay. About a month ago, when I was escorting the goods from Qinghua City to Eastern Sun City, the biggest herb merchant in Eastern Sun City, Scholar Lu, asked me to escort this batch of herbs to Qinghua City. He also paid 10,000 upper spiritual stones as a deposit. He said that there would be another 90,000 upper spiritual stones after arriving at Qinghua City. I saw that there was nothing wrong with the herbs and the deposit was very generous. So I accepted this mission. I didn't expect so many things to happen. Ren Tianqing's face was filled with grief. Obviously, the death of so many of his old subordinates was a big blow to him. Ling Xiao was deep in thought. According to Ren Tianqing, there was nothing wrong with accepting the mission. It was very normal. However, Ling Xiao could feel a strong sense of conspiracy from this. Ren Tianqing didn't know much about spiritual medicine, but Ling Xiao knew that this box of spiritual medicine was worth less than 100,000 upper spiritual stones. Which herb merchant was willing to pay 100,000 upper spiritual stones? Boom! Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He grabbed the iron box and poured out all the spiritual herbs inside. Then, with a sudden force, the entire iron box was torn apart by Ling Xiao's violent force. What are you doing? Ren Qingluo was furious and shouted at Ling Xiao. However, Ling Xiao ignored her. Instead, he opened the iron box and took out a fist-sized blue stone. What is this? Ren Tianqing and Old Wu were shocked when they saw the blue stone in Ling Xiao's hand. The blue stone looked sparkling and translucent, overflowing with light and color. It was very gorgeous and emitted a demonic blue light. It was very beautiful in the night sky. However, Ling Xiao's mental strength was very strong. He could clearly feel that there was a mysterious fluctuation coming from this blue stone. It was spreading in all directions. It's a demon soul stone. Ling Xiao's body trembled. His eyes were filled with surprise and joy. He recognized the origin of this blue stone. What's a demon soul stone? Ren Qingluo knew that she had misunderstood Ling Xiao. She blushed slightly and felt a little embarrassed. Her voice also softened a little as she asked curiously. Ling Xiao stared fixedly at the demon soul stone and explained, the demon soul stone is a strange stone. The conditions for its formation are extremely harsh. It must be in a place where countless demon beasts have died and absorbed the remnant souls of countless demon beasts to form a strange stone. It is considered an excellent material for refining weapons. However, the demonic soul stone has a fatal attraction to demonic beasts. It can make demonic beasts evolve. If they sense the aura of the demonic soul stone, they will rush over regardless of the cost, wanting to devour the demonic soul stone. It can attract demonic beasts. The expressions of Ren Tianqing, Old Wu, Ren Qingluo, and the others instantly turned ugly. Ling Zhao's mention of the excellent refining materials was automatically ignored by them, but Ling Zhao's last sentence made them both shocked and angry. Actually, there was something that Ling Zhao didn't say, and that was that demon soul stones weren't just excellent materials for refining equipment. They were simply top-notch treasures of heaven and earth. If used to refine weapons, they could refine supreme weapons with weapon spirits. One had to know that spiritual weapons, treasured weapons, and Tao weapons didn't have weapon spirits. The only difference was the magnitude of their power. For example, Tao weapons might be engraved with mysterious nomological imprints and have strong spirituality, but they still didn't have a weapon spirit. Having a weapon spirit meant that it had the possibility of evolution. A supreme weapon with a weapon spirit had unlimited possibilities. It wouldn't be a problem for it to grow into a divine weapon in the future. The sword that Ling Zhao used in his previous life, the Devouring Sky Divine Sword, was a divine weapon. However, this news was too important, so it wasn't suitable to tell them. Sure enough, someone is framing my heavenly escort agency. They actually hid the demon soul stone in the boxes that were escorting the spiritual medicine. What a wild ambition. If I find out who's secretly framing my heavenly escort agency, I'll definitely be irreconcilable with them. Ren Tianqing was so angry that he laughed. His hair and beard fluttered, and his entire body emitted a monstrous murderous aura. His eyes were filled with blazing murderous intent. At this moment, he was mad with hatred. When he thought of the innocent deaths of his old subordinates, and that all of this was caused by the mastermind, he couldn't wait to find the mastermind and tear him into pieces. Oh no, demonic beasts are surrounding us. Light glinted across Ling Zhao's eyes and he hastily kept the Yao Soul Stone into his longevity ring. Immediately, the strange energy fluctuations disappeared. Roar! 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 At the same time, a few powerful roars resounded, shaking the mountain forest. From the dark mountain forest in the distance, blood-red eyes flickered. Immediately after, demonic beasts with powerful auras walked out from the mountain forest. The shadows of demonic beasts were everywhere. There were at least 100 of them. The demonic beasts had powerful auras, and their eyes shone with a bloodthirsty light. They slowly approached from all directions, surrounding the people of the Heavenly Escort Agency. Oh no, demonic beasts are attacking. Defend. Don't panic. Everyone, guard the surroundings. Don't let the demonic beasts break in. At the station of the Heavenly Escort Agency, after a moment of panic, the people quickly formed a defensive barrier under the command of Old Wu and the other 3 Dragon Tiger Realm experts. They looked at the demonic beasts outside with solemn expressions. The number of demonic beasts they had encountered today was more than any other time they had encountered before. Moreover, there were a few powerful demonic beasts. Their monstrous auras sent chills down their spines. Their faces were pale, and despair was written all over their faces. There were more than 100 demonic beasts. Ling Zhao looked around. Although most of them were rank 2 and rank 3 demonic beasts, there were a total of 9 rank 4 demonic beasts, emitting a terrifying aura. Especially the 2 demonic beasts leading the group. One of them was a scarlet tiger with fiery red fur. It opened its bloody mouth and looked a few feet tall. Its fangs were sharp, and its eyes were cold. The other demonic beast was a giant snake that was more than 100 feet long. Its body was covered in silver light, and its body was as thick as a water bucket. On its flat head, there was a pair of extremely cold eyes, which made people shudder. The red flame tiger and the silver light giant python. The aura of these 2 demonic beasts was actually on par with Ren Tianqing. They were rank 5 demonic beasts. 2 rank 5 demonic beasts, 9 rank 4 demonic beasts, and hundreds of demonic beasts below rank 3 were all eyeing the people of the Heavenly Escort Agency covetously. Ren Tianqing and Ren Qingluo's faces instantly turned pale. There was an absolute disparity in strength. They would definitely die. Ren Tianqing's cultivation was only at level 1 of the Grandmaster realm, and the tiger and snake's aura were not weaker than his. In fact, they were even stronger. Even if Ren Tianqing could stop these 2 rank 5 demonic beasts, what could he do? As time passed, he would still be defeated. The most important thing was still the 9 rank 4 demonic beasts. Old Wu and the rest only had 4 Dragon Tiger realm experts. If they risked their lives to stop the 4 rank 4 demonic beasts, the remaining 5 demonic beasts would be able to slaughter everyone in the Heavenly Escort Agency in no time. This could be said to be a situation of certain death. Chapter 111. Old Wu, I'll block these 2 level 5 beasts. You and the other brothers will find a chance to escape. Don't die here for nothing. Find out who's behind this and avenge me. Ren Tianqing clenched his teeth and made a decision instantly. The aura on his body became more intense. What? No way. Old Wu and the other 3 Dragon Tiger realm bodyguards were shocked. They said anxiously, Head bodyguard, if we're leaving, we'll leave together. How can we leave you behind? At most, we'll fight it out with these beasts. Fight what? What's the use of killing all these beasts? You have to stay alive to avenge our brothers who died tragically. Moreover, as long as you retreat, I'll be able to find a chance to escape even if I can't defeat these 2 level 5 beasts. That's settled. If you still think of me as the head bodyguard, listen to me this time. I'll leave Qing Luo and you, to you. Ren Tianqing said decisively. There was a hint of determination in his eyes. Yes. Don't worry, head bodyguard. Even if we die, we'll protect the safety of the 2 ladies. Old Wu and the other 3 nodded vigorously. Their eyes were red. Father, I don't want to go. I want to go with you. Ren Qing Luo said stubbornly. Her face turned pale instantly when she heard Ren Tianqing's words. Father, I'm not afraid. I want to fight the bad guys with you. After all, Ren Qingyu was still young. Although she looked at the surrounding demonic beasts with some fear on her face, she still resolutely raised her small pink fist and said. Good child, you're all good children. Ling Xiao, I hope you can protect Qing Luo and you, during the battle later. I'll thank you. Ren Tianqing's eyes were wet. He stroked Qingyu and Qingluo's heads. Then, he looked at Ling Xiao with anticipation in his eyes and bowed solemnly. Don't worry, head bodyguard. I will. Ling Xiao nodded. His eyes were calm without the slightest hint of panic. To be honest, although the beasts in front of him looked strong and had a strong aura, they were nothing to Ling Xiao. Over the past few days, Ling Xiao had killed more than a dozen rank 5 monsters in the fearsome Beast Mountain range and countless rank 4 monsters. If Ling Xiao unleashed his full strength, killing these demonic beasts would not take too long. However, Ling Xiao had a nagging feeling that there was a pair of eyes watching his every move, so he did not intend to reveal his strength so quickly. When the battle broke out, he would secretly lend a hand so that the people of the Heaven Escort Agency wouldn't suffer too much damage. Good. Ha ha ha. Bastards, I'll play with you today. After receiving Ling Xiao's promise, Ren Tianqing seemed to have let go of the worries in his heart. He laughed loudly and heroically. Grabbing a black heavy sword, he took the lead and charged towards the 2 fifth-order monsters. Roar! Seeing that Ren Tianqing had taken the initiative to attack, the Scarlet Flame Tiger also let out a low roar. Flames rose from its body, and it turned into a streak of fire as it charged towards Ren Tianqing. The sky was filled with flames. Coupled with the powerful impact of the Scarlet Flame Tiger, a huge ancient tree was instantly smashed into pieces and set on fire. Skyline Sword Skill, 1000 Mountain Break. Ren Tianqing's aura was like that of a dragon. He let out a loud roar and poured his powerful innate True Kong into the heavy sword. The black heavy sword emitted a bright light as it slashed towards the Scarlet Flame Tiger. This attack was unparalleled. The sword chi was majestic, as if it was going to break a mountain. Although the scarlet flame tiger was huge, it was extremely agile. It dodged sideways and its huge tiger claws slapped on the sword, creating a sound of metal clashing. Buzz! The heavy sword swept across, and the sword chi became more and more intense. It shrouded the silver light python that wanted to rush towards the Heaven Escort Agency. Clang! 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 The sword chi fell on the silver light python, and sparks flew everywhere. However, the silver light python was in pain. Its eyes were cold and murderous. Its huge snake tail swept across like a huge wave, and its demonic chi rolled towards Ren Tianqing. Beast, go to hell. At this moment, Ren Tianqing had let go of all restraints as his aura rose to the maximum. The heaven-sundering sword skill, a mystic-class peerless martial art, was executed to the maximum by him. Every single sword strike was filled with the power of a master. For a moment, Ren Tianqing was actually on par with the two rank 5 demonic beasts. However, the other side was not able to do so. Although Old Wu and the other 3 were Dragon Tiger Realm experts, they were unable to contend with the 9 rank 4 demonic beasts. As the battle between the 2 rank 5 demonic beasts and Ren Tianqing began, all the other demonic beasts attacked crazily. Kill! The mountain-splitting axe in Old Wu's hand was extremely powerful. It blocked the 2 rank 4 demonic beasts, and a fierce battle broke out. The other 3 Dragon Tiger Realm escorts also seemed to have gone crazy. Each of them blocked the rank 4 demonic beasts, and a fierce battle broke out in the dark forest. Qing Luo, take Qing Yu and leave first. Old Wu swung his axe horizontally, forcing a huge black wolf to retreat. He then shouted at Ren Qing Luo. Ren Qing Luo's face was extremely pale. However, seeing so many of her uncles and companions in a bloody battle, how could she run away? Her pride would not allow her to leave. Even if she died, she would not allow it. At this moment, the only rank 4 demonic beast had its eyes on Ren Qing Luo, and it was closing in on her. Take care of you, Ren Qing Luo looked deeply at Ling Xiao, and there was a hint of pleading and anticipation in her eyes. Then, she turned around and unsheathed the long sword on her back, letting out a clear dragon's roar. She held the long sword in her hand, and her blue dress fluttered in the wind. She was like a fairy from the Moon Palace, elegant and unrestrained. Her sword swept across the sky, and she charged towards the rank 4 demonic beast. The rank 4 demonic beast was a huge spider. Its entire body shone with a blue light, and its 8 legs were like cast metal. It was extremely sturdy, and it was extremely agile as it pounced towards Ren Qing Luo. Kill! Ren Qing Luo shouted and dodged the spider's attack. The long sword in her hand shone brightly, and the sword transformed into 3 shadows, slashing towards the spider's body. Clang! 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 Sparks flew in all directions. The long sword in Ren Qing Luo's hand was a high-grade spiritual weapon, but it did not even leave a white mark on the spider's body. Instead, the huge recoil caused Ren Qing Luo's arm to go numb. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. The spider demonic beast seemed to have been enraged. Its eyes were cold, and its 8 legs quickly struck out, transforming into countless shadows in the air, and enveloping Ren Qing Luo. Chapter 112. Brother Ling Xiao, that big spider is too powerful. Sister can't defeat it. What should we do? What should we do? Er's face was filled with anxiety. Don't worry, your sister will be fine. Ling Xiao comforted. He raised his head and looked at the spider demonic beast with a sharp glint in his eyes. At this moment, Ren Qing Luo was already surrounded by danger. The spider beast's 8 arms were extremely powerful. It attacked Ren Qing Luo rapidly, leaving behind afterimages in the void. Clang! Clang! Ren Qing Luo blocked left and right. Her face was extremely pale. The long sword in her hand was attacked by a powerful force. Her arm was extremely numb, and she almost lost all feeling. Bang! Ren Qingluo was careless and her defense was broken through by the spider beast. It hit her chest and she flew back dozens of feet. She suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, and her face became even paler. Hiss! The spider beast's eyes were extremely cold and flashed with murderous intent. It suddenly spat out a white silk that flew across the sky. It was a white spider silk. It was extremely fast. Before Ren Qingluo could react, her hands and feet were instantly bound by the spider silk. The spider beast was moving rapidly along the spider silk. Ren Qingluo could even see its sharp fangs. Her eyes were instantly filled with despair. Am I going to die here? Ren Qingluo looked at Ren Tianqing and Yu in the distance. Her face was filled with endless longing. Swoosh! 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 A few transparent chi swords flew across the sky. They were extremely sharp, as if they could pierce through everything. They shot towards the spider beast like lightning. Puff! A trace of blood flashed. The spider beast's eyes were pierced by the chi swords. Hiss! Hiss! The spider beast rolled violently as if it was suffering endless pain. Its 8 arms danced crazily, attacking forward rapidly. It looked like Ren Qingluo was about to die in its hands. Swoosh! Swoosh! Another few sharp chi swords flew across the sky and directly shot into the spider beast's eyes. The chi swords exploded and minced the insides of its head into pieces. Boom! The spider beast fell to the ground and died. It died just like that. Who killed it? With the death of the spider demonic beast, the web on Ren Qingluo's body naturally loosened. Her face was filled with incomparable shock. Her eyes scanned the surroundings, but she did not discover who had done it. In the center of everyone, there was only Ling Xiao and Yu, these two people. Yu, was currently only at the channel opening stage, and Ling Xiao was heavily injured, with all the tendons and veins in his body broken. They were also eliminated by Ren Qingluo. Who was it that saved her? Ren Qingluo's heart was filled with doubts, but she didn't have the time to continue pondering, as a few more third-order monsters rushed towards her. Kill! Ren Qingluo yelled out softly and roused her spirit. She wielded her long sword and executed the skyline sword art. The sword chi around her was unparalleled as she charged towards the rank 3 demonic beasts. Big brother Ling Xiao, that ugly spider is dead. Big sister is fine. That's great. Yu, was nervous and excited at the same time. Her face was red as she grabbed Ling Xiao's arm and said excitedly. Yu, be good. These ugly monsters are definitely not a match for your daddy and big sister. Ling Xiao smiled and comforted Yu, The genuine qi in his body was as boundless as the sea. It gathered on his right hand, and the air currents in the void condensed into a few chi swords. Now that Ling Xiao's injuries were completely healed, his genuine qi was boundless. Moreover, after being purified by the energy in the green bronze shrine, it had become purer and tougher, just like the innate righteous qi. If Ling Xiao's genuine qi was like a plant before, then his current genuine qi was like a steel needle that had undergone a qualitative change. Just like the innate righteous qi of the Grandmaster realm, it could explode with unparalleled offensive power. Therefore, when Ling Xiao executed the flicking divine skill, the qi swords that he condensed were not only silent, but also extremely powerful. They could easily penetrate the defense of a fourth-order monster. Puff! There was a flash of blood in the air, and a huge black wolf in front of Old Wu had its heart pierced by an invisible sword of qi. The sword qi tore its heart into pieces, and the huge black wolf howled in agony as it fell to the ground, dead. The second fourth-order monster was dead. Who is it? The death of the black giant wolf startled Old Wu. He looked around but did not find out who had killed the fourth-order monster. However, Old Wu's fighting spirit was surging at this moment. His blood chi was boundless and his mountain-splitting axe was majestic. He did not pay too much attention to it and continued to attack the remaining fourth-order monster. Whoosh! 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 Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in the center. His hands moved slightly, and the boundless genuine chi was constantly condensed into invisible chi swords that were shot at the monsters in the distance. The flicking divine skill was a low-grade earth-level martial arts technique. Ling Xiao had executed it to the extreme. The invisible chi swords were unparalleled and pierced through everything. Monsters were constantly shot to death or severely injured, and their screams were endless. On the other hand, on the side of the Heaven Escort Agency, although many of the escorts were surrounded by danger in the battle with the monsters, none of them had died. More often than not, at the critical moment of life and death, an invisible chi sword would shoot over and kill the monsters. In this way, 15 minutes had passed. The number of fourth-order monsters that had died in Ling Xiao's hands had reached 8, and the number of third-order and second-order monsters was uncountable. Go to hell for me. Old Wu's hair fluttered in the wind. The mountain-splitting axe in his hand shone brightly. He suddenly swung it down and split the fanged wild boar monster in half. Blood splattered everywhere, and a murderous aura filled the air. At this point, all 9 fourth-order monsters had been killed. Let's go and help the head escort. Old Wu shouted and took the lead to charge in Ren Tianqing's direction. The other 3 Dragon Tiger Realm escorts also charged over energetically. At this moment, Ren Tianqing was already at a disadvantage under the siege of the Flaming Tiger and the Silver Light Python. Every time he swung his heavy sword, it became difficult for him. Old Wu and the others rushed up and blocked the attack of the slightly weaker Silver Light Python in an instant. The pressure on Ren Tianqing was instantly reduced. Old Wu, you didn't leave. Go quickly, I'll stop these 2 monsters. Don't worry about me. Something's not right. Ren Tianqing's face was filled with anxiety. However, when he saw the situation around him, his expression suddenly changed. The 9 powerful fourth-order demonic beasts were all lying in a pool of their own blood, dead. Ren Tianqing was busy fighting the 2 fifth-order monsters, so he did not notice Old Wu and the others at all. However, how could Old Wu and the others have killed 9 fourth-order monsters in such a short period of time? Ren Tianqing's eyes were filled with doubt. Chapter 113. Head Escort, there's an expert helping us secretly to kill the 9 rank 4 demonic beasts. Old Wu whispered in Ren Tianqing's ear. So that's how it is. Ren Tianqing's eyes revealed a hint of surprise, and he secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Old Wu, you guys block the Silver Light Python. I'll deal with the Scarlet Flame Tiger first. Ren Tianqing ordered. His eyes were filled with a strong desire to fight. He held the black heavy sword in his hand, and his innate true gang was boundless. He charged forward with an imposing manner. Myriad waves. Ren Tianqing shouted. The black heavy sword emitted a dark sword light. Powerful Xiantian qi surged out like waves. Endless sword qi accompanied the black heavy sword as it fell. It was as if heaven and earth had been turned upside down. It enveloped the Scarlet Flame Tiger. There were a total of 4 moves in the Skyline Sword Art, 10 Slash, 100 Thunder Flash, 1000 Mountain Break, and Myriad Waves. Myriad Waves was the ultimate move of the Skyline Sword Art. Although it was only a black martial art, it exploded with terrifying power under Ren Tianqing's Grandmaster Realm strength. Roar! The Scarlet Flame Tiger seemed to have also sensed the powerful energy contained within this attack. It let out a loud roar that shook the mountain forest. A blazing light shot out from its mouth, and a huge fireball that flickered with resplendent sparks shot towards Ren Tianqing like a small sun. Boom! The 10,000 waves slashed down on the huge fireball. Suddenly, an endless amount of sword qi burst out. The flames exploded with a loud bang. The incomparably sharp sword qi was unparalleled. Its momentum was astonishing. Countless plants in the surroundings were shot into pieces. Bang! Although the huge fireball exploded, there was a round demonic core in it. It contained an extremely violent force. When it hit the black heavy sword, Ren Tianqing spat out a mouthful of blood and flew back dozens of feet. Roar! 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 Accompanied by a violent roar, the terrifying sword chi of the myriad waves left behind hundreds of bloody marks on the scarlet flame tiger's body, causing it to bleed profusely. It was in incomparable pain, and its eyes surged with madness and bloodthirsty killing intent. Go to hell. Ren Tianqing's robe fluttered in the wind as his battle intent soared to the extreme. His eyes were sharp as he wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and charged forward with the black heavy sword. Although the flaming tiger was a 5th-rank demonic beast, it was only at the early stage of the 5th-rank demonic beast. Its battle prowess was on par with Ren Tianqing's. The man and the beast were fighting with all their might. Rumble. Ren Tianqing and the scarlet flame tiger rampaged through the forest and collided a few more times. The ground rumbled as more wounds were left on their bodies. Swoosh. Swoosh swoosh. As for Ling Xiao, who was sitting in the middle, a sharp glint flashed in his eyes. He flicked his finger and a few invisible sword chis silently shot towards the scarlet flame tiger in the dark night. Using the heaven-devouring true chi to perform the divine flicking finger, Ling Xiao's invisible sword chi was steady, accurate, and as fast as lightning. Coupled with the cover of the night, the scarlet flame tiger, who was fighting with Ren Tianqing, did not notice. Boom! Boom! Swoosh osh 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 osh! Swoosh! 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 Roar! The scarlet flame tiger let out an earth-shattering shriek. A violent demonic aura was emitted from its body as it frantically attacked its surroundings. Ren Tianqing's eyes flashed. He sensed that something was wrong with the scarlet flame tiger. But when he thought of the expert hiding in the dark, he knew that this was a great opportunity. 10,000 waves. Ren Tianqing didn't hesitate any longer. He poured all his Xiantian Gang Qi into his black sword. Violent sword Qi exploded. He slashed down with his sword. It was as if a boundless ocean was crashing down. Its momentum was astonishing. Boom! Although the scarlet flame tiger was crazily attacking, it couldn't block Ren Tianqing's attack. Swoosh! 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 The scarlet flame tiger was dead. On the other side, although Old Wu and the other 3 had barely managed to hold back the giant silver python, it was extremely strenuous for them. They had already fallen into a disadvantageous position and were bitterly resisting. Bastard, die! Ren Tianqing roared. Wielding his black sword, he took large strides towards the silver light python. The situation on the battlefield changed drastically. The Heaven Escort Agency, which had been in danger, started to take the initiative to kill those demonic beasts. After the death of 1 5th-rank demonic beast and 9 4th-rank demonic beasts, the remaining demonic beasts were no match for the Heavenly Escort Agency. Soon, blood flowed like a river as they fled in all directions. Who exactly is helping? Ren Qingluo, who had been observing the situation on the battlefield, had a look of suspicion in her eyes. From the time the spider demon beast was killed to the inexplicable deaths of all the 4th-rank demon beasts, especially the 5th-rank demon beast, the scarlet flame tiger. She could tell that Ren Tianqing and the scarlet flame tiger were on par with each other. If Ren Tianqing wanted to kill the scarlet flame tiger, it would not be so easy. He would definitely have to pay a huge price. However, the crimson flame tiger inexplicably went berserk and lost its ability to resist. In the end, it was beheaded by Ren Tianqing. The expert who acted in the dark was too terrifying. He didn't even show himself, but he had already turned the situation around. Could it really be him? In the end, Ren Qingluo's gaze still landed on Ling Xiao's body. Although she felt that this thought of hers was ridiculous, after all, Ling Xiao was only a youth whose meridians were all broken. How could he possibly possess such shocking battle strength? However, she had a faint feeling in her heart that this matter must have something to do with Ling Xiao. It had to be said that a woman's sixth sense was very frightening. Ling Xiao did not notice that Ren Qingluo was observing him. Other than secretly killing the demonic beasts, he spent most of his energy on his mental strength. Ling Xiao's mental strength, which was comparable to that of a middle-ranked alchemy master, spread out. He could clearly sense everything within 1,000 feet radius. Ling Xiao was investigating the location of the mastermind. The next day, the Heaven Escort Agency would leave the fearsome Beast Mountain Range and return to Qinghua City. Tonight was the best time for an ambush. Since the mastermind wanted to deal with the Heaven Escort Agency, he would definitely not miss this battle with the demonic beasts. The mastermind had placed the demonic soul stone among the escorted goods to attract the demonic beasts to attack the Heaven Escort Agency. He wanted to use the demonic beasts to weaken the Heaven Escort Agency's plan and finally kill them in one blow. So it's here. The corner of Ling Xiao's mouth twitched, and a glimmer of light flashed in his eyes. On top of an ancient tree 1,000 feet away, more than 20 men in black were hiding. They hid very cleverly, and their auras were faintly discernible. They were observing the situation of the battle. If it wasn't for Ling Xiao's powerful mental strength, he wouldn't have been able to discover their tracks. Chapter 114. 1,000 feet away. On an ancient tree, a black-clothed old man's eyes were shining. His aura was as deep as the sea, unfathomable. Next to him was a young man in his 20s. His face was very similar to the old man's, and his eyes were full of eagerness. In front of the two of them stood a handsome young man. His face was like jade, and his eyes were like stars. He was extremely handsome. At this moment, he was holding a folding fan and standing on a tree branch as steady as Mount Tai. It was clear that he had a high cultivation level. The black-clothed old man and the young man in his 20s looked at the young man in front of them with eyes full of respect. It's about time. Wang Wei, get ready to move. The handsome young man closed his folding fan and said lightly. Yes. The black-clothed old man, Wang Wei, looked serious and said respectfully. However, the black-clothed young man asked doubtfully, Young Master Ouyang, aren't you afraid of losing the demonic stone when you put it in the escort goods? Also, with your combat strength, that old man Ren Tianqing is no match for you. Why do you have to do this? How dare you? Is this something you should ask? Wang Wei's expression changed slightly as he scolded the black-clothed young man. The black-clothed young man was his son, Wang Zhe. Seeing that Wang Zhe didn't know what was important, Wang Wei was afraid that he would accidentally anger Ouyang Yu. If that happened, the father and son's lives would be in danger. Wang Wei knew very well that the handsome young man in front of him, Ouyang Yu, was a ruthless person. Most importantly, Wang Wei vaguely guessed Ouyang Yu's origin, which made his heart tremble. Moreover, Ouyang Yu's cultivation was unfathomable. Wang Wei, who was at level 1 of the Grandmaster realm, couldn't even withstand one move from him. It's okay. Since you want to know, I'll tell you. Ouyang Yu wasn't angry. He smiled faintly and said, the demonic stone is mysterious and unpredictable. Even I don't know its use. I only know that it will attract demonic beasts and cause them to go crazy. How can it be lost when it's in the escort goods under my watch? As for the Heaven Escort Agency, it's not as simple as you think. I'm trying my best to lure the demonic beasts to attack. I don't just want to kill the people of the Heaven Escort Agency. Ouyang Yu didn't continue speaking. His eyes revealed a trace of crazy excitement. At the thought of his plan succeeding, his heart was filled with excitement. Remember, your goal is to kill everyone except for the sisters. As long as the Heavenly Escort Agency is destroyed, your Huwei Escort Agency will naturally be able to dominate Qinghua City. But let me warn you first. If anyone dares to disobey me, I will make sure that they die without a burial ground. In the end, Yang Yu's voice emitted endless coldness, causing Wang Wei and Wang Zhe to shiver, and they hurriedly replied respectfully. Don't worry, young master. This time, our Huwei escort agency will send out all the elites. We will definitely wipe out the Heaven Escort Agency in one fell swoop. The Heavenly Escort Agency's combat strength is indeed not bad. They actually managed to kill a 5th-rank demonic beast and 9 4th-rank demonic beasts. Yang Yu's eyes flashed with a trace of demonic light, and his face also revealed a trace of surprise. Originally, he thought that even if this wave of demonic beasts could not destroy the Heavenly Escort Agency, they would still suffer heavy casualties. However, he did not expect them to be able to unleash such a strong fighting spirit. Observing from such a distance, even Yang Yu didn't find anything wrong with the deaths of those monstrous beasts. What? Wang Wei and Wang Zhe's faces revealed a trace of horror. A 5th-rank demonic beast and 9 4th-rank demonic beasts were killed. One must know that the Heaven Escort Agency only had Ren Tianqing and 4 Dragon Tiger Realm experts left. Logically speaking, they should have suffered heavy casualties. How could this be the result? In Qinghua City, the Huwei Escort Agency and the Heaven Escort Agency were on par with each other in terms of strength. The competition had always been fierce, and both agencies wanted to become the ruler of Qinghua City. Wang Wei's cultivation was the same as Ren Tianqing's, at level 1 of the Grandmaster realm. He also had 8 Dragon Tiger realm escorts under him, and this time, he brought all of them with him. Wang Wei thought that if the Huwei Escort Agency had gone all out, they would not have been able to achieve such a powerful result. Thinking of this, Wang Wei's heart became more cautious and fearful. So what if your cultivation is strong? If this is the case, my plan will be even more perfect. I wonder if your benefactor is in a tight encirclement. Will you help him? Yang Yu looked in a certain direction in the distance, and a trace of a demonic smile appeared in his eyes. Let's do our best to kill Ren Tianqing. Yang Yu said indifferently. He looked at Wang Wei and the others with a trace of pity in his eyes. Who knew how many people would be left after this battle with these cannons? Yes. Wang Wei's spirit shook. Looking at the black-robed men behind him, he shouted in a low voice, "Brothers, follow me. Kill Ren Tianqing and destroy the Heaven Escort Agency. In the future, Qinghua City will belong to the Huwei Escort Agency." Yes. The men in black replied in unison, and a trace of cruel killing intent appeared in their eyes. Swoosh! 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 Wang Wei took the lead and swept across the sky. The men in black followed behind him, and cold killing intent filled the air as they rushed in the direction of the Heaven Escort Agency. Can't wait to take action. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. Under his powerful spiritual perception, the group of men in black who were hiding in the dark quickly swept over. Since that's the case, you can go to hell too. Ling Zhao's eyes shone brightly. He formed a seal with his hands, and wisps of heaven-devouring true qi were like the sharpest sword qi. In an instant, they turned into countless invisible sword qi and rushed toward the silver light python. Under the siege of Ren Tianqing, Old Wu, and the others, the silver light python was gradually at a disadvantage. Although its body was huge and its strength was unparalleled, it was still suppressed by Ren Tianqing's skyline sword skill. However, its body was covered in silver light, and the snake scales had strong defensive power. When the weapons of Ren Tianqing and the others landed on its body, they were unable to break through the defense of the snake scales. However, Ling Zhao knew that the real weak points of the silver light python were the 7 inches and the soft parts of its abdomen. Although the silver light python was trying its best to protect these weak points, it did not notice Ling Zhao's invisible sword qi. Puff! 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 A few streaks of blood flashed, and the silver light python hissed miserably. Its body twisted violently, and it attacked everywhere as though it had gone mad. Ren Tianqing's eyes flashed, and he seized the opportunity to cut off the silver light python's head with a sword. Fresh blood stained the ground, and the huge body of the silver light python fell to the ground, completely dead. As for the other demonic beasts, they fled in all directions after being killed by the escorts of the Heaven Escort Agency. In the end, they left a ground full of corpses and fled in all directions. Chapter 115. Did we win? Ha ha ha. All the demonic beasts are dead. All hail the head escort. All hail the head escort. The numerous escorts of the Skyline Escort Agency began to cheer with joy on their faces, as if they had just survived a calamity. After this battle, almost all of them were exhausted. They sat on the ground with blood all over their bodies, but they could not hide the excitement on their faces. They all knew that the demonic beasts were either dead or had escaped. This meant that they were completely safe now. As long as the next day dawned, they would be able to leave this mountain range filled with death and return to Qinghua City. After killing the silver python, Ren Tianqing was drenched in sweat. His face was pale and he was panting. He had used up a lot of his true qi. However, when he and Old Wu looked at each other, joy could be seen in their eyes, and they heaved a sigh of relief in their hearts. Who is it? However, at this moment, Ren Tianqing's expression changed. With his Grandmaster realm cultivation, he was very sensitive to his surroundings. Ren Tianqing sensed dozens of extremely powerful auras, emitting cold killing intent, approaching them quickly. Clang! Ren Tianqing pulled out his black sword and looked at the dark forest in the distance cautiously. Old Wu and the others were also shocked. They stood up from the ground, picked up their weapons, and slashed at Ren Tianqing's back. The atmosphere became extremely tense in an instant. Ha ha ha. Ren Tianqing, I didn't expect your senses to be so sharp after going through so many battles. However, all of you will die today. An old and arrogant voice came out, shaking the mountain forest. It was full of energy. From the dark mountain forest, a black-clothed old man came out. He held a black saber in his hand, and his whole body emitted a cold and violent aura. It was as if he was a demon god that came out from the darkness. Swoosh! Swoosh! At the same time, dozens of black-clothed men flew through the air and stood behind the black-clothed old man in a row. Each of them held a black saber in their hands. Their bodies were filled with killing intent, and their eyes were surging with cold killing intent. Wang Wei. It's you! Ren Tianqing exclaimed. His expression instantly became extremely unsightly. Ling Zhao's words appeared in his mind. He connected the strange process of receiving the demonic beasts and the strange attack of the demonic beasts together. He understood everything in a flash. It turned out that the mastermind behind the scenes was Wang Wei. Head of Huwei Escort Agency, Wang Wei. You schemed to hide demon soul stones in the escorted goods, luring the demon beasts in the fearsome beast mountain range to attack my heavenly escort agency. You hid in the dark and waited for an opportunity to strike. Finally, when my heavenly escort agency and the demon beasts were both injured, you took the opportunity to capture us all in one fell swoop. Ha ha ha. Wang Wei, what a great trick. What kind of enmity does my Heaven Escort Agency have with you that you want to kill me? Ren Tianqing laughed out of anger, his voice incomparably sorrowful. So that demon stone is called a demon soul stone. Hee, Ren Tianqing, your guess is right. I'm going to wipe out your entire Heavenly Escort Agency. 10 years ago, my Tiger Might Escort Agency dominated Qinghua City. It was you who came to Qinghua City and established the Skywalker Escort Agency. You blocked my Tiger Might Escort Agency's path to wealth and took away more than half of our business. Blocking someone's path to wealth is like killing their parents. So you must die, all of you must die. As long as your Heavenly Escort Agency is wiped out, Qinghua City will be in the hands of the Tiger Might Escort Agency. Wang Wei was stunned, but then he sneered. The murderous intent in his eyes was almost tangible. Wang Wei, you only said that my father took away your business. But 5 years ago, you were escorting in the fearsome beast mountain range and were seriously injured. If it wasn't for my father saving you, you would have been buried in the demon's stomach. Now, You're repaying kindness with enmity. You want to kill my father and destroy my heavenly escort agency. Do you still have a conscience? Cruel and unscrupulous people will be punished by the heavens. Ren Qingluo walked out. Her pretty face was extremely pale, but she was very stubborn and said in a cold voice. A trace of shame appeared on Wang Wei's face, but it disappeared in a flash. Instead, he became angry out of humiliation and said, "Your father saved me, but he's just a hypocrite. When I was seriously injured, how much business did your heavenly escort agency steal from us? I went to your house to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage on behalf of Zhe, but your father refused and humiliated me. I've long since sworn that I'm irreconcilable with your heavenly escort agency. So, there's no need to say anything more. You're all going to die today. Wang Wei, even the demonic beasts in the fearsome Beast Mountain range aren't as despicable and shameless as you. Since that's the case, there's no point in talking anymore. Let's fight. Even if my heavenly escort agency is annihilated today, I'll make you pay the price." Ren Tianqing sneered. His eyes were filled with the will to die. A powerful and unparalleled aura spread out. The black heavy sword was pointed at Wang Wei, swallowing and spitting out sharp cold light. That's right. Countless of our brothers were killed by these despicable people. Today, we'll pay with blood. Kill! 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 Old Wu's eyes were wide open in anger. He roared and the mountain-splitting axe fell to the ground, causing the earth to shake violently. Blood for blood. Kill! 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 The eyes of the heavenly escort agency's men were also filled with blood-red light. The originally low morale began to rise as they let out earth-shattering roars. What a piece of trash. If he had attacked from the beginning, the heavenly escort agency's men would have died. He actually managed to arouse the other party's fighting spirit. What a fool. However, this is also good. The longer this drags on, the more beneficial it is to my plan. Oh, Yang Yu, who was in the distance, had a mocking look in his eyes. He looked in a certain direction in the distance. His figure flashed and disappeared into the forest like a ghost. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He felt like he was being spied on. However, the spying gaze came from thousands of feet away. It was beyond the range of his mental strength, so Ling Zhao wasn't sure if it was just his imagination. Could there be a conspiracy behind this? Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat. He thought of the demonic soul stone. The Tiger Escort Agency couldn't possibly take out such a treasure. It seemed like things were getting more and more complicated. Ling Zhao squinted his eyes. He had a premonition that all the riddles would be revealed soon. Attack! Wang Wei's expression changed. He knew that he couldn't wait any longer. He let out a low roar and slashed the ghost head saber in his hand. Black ominous aura filled the air, and ghostly wails and howls were emitted. It emitted a fluctuation that caused one's mind to go haywire. It was as if there were really countless phantoms of ghosts descending upon the crowd. Profound class peerless martial technique, Ghost King Saber technique. Under Wang Wei's control, his entire body was filled with ominous aura. It was as if he had really transformed into a ghost king from hell, ready to reap all lives. Thousand mountains break. Chapter 116. Boom! As the sword and saber collided, a dazzling light burst out in the void. The violent Xiantian Gang Qi surged in all directions, and there was a loud explosion in the air. Wang Wei and Ren Tianqing were both at LV1 of the Grandmaster realm, but Ren Tianqing had gone through a great battle and killed 2 rank 5 demonic beasts, the Red Flame Tiger and the Silver Light Python. At this moment, more than half of his Xiantian Gang Qi had been consumed, and he had not recovered at all. Therefore, after this blow, Wang Wei did not move, but Ren Tianqing took a dozen steps back, and his face was abnormally red. Ren Tianqing, is this all you've got left? Since that's the case, then die. Wang Wei sneered. He knew that Ren Tianqing had consumed a lot of his energy in the previous battle, and now he only had 20 to 30% of his strength left. As the saying goes, take your life when you're sick. Wang Wei held the ghost head saber, and the cold saber light was dazzling. The saber hummed and trembled, and a black murderous aura filled the air. With a burst of ghostly cries and howls, Wang Wei slashed at Ren Tianqing. The Ghost King saber technique was strange and ruthless. Every slash was accompanied by ghostly cries and howls, which were unpredictable and impossible to resist. In the end, one would die tragically under the saber. If Ren Tianqing was at his peak, he would not be afraid of the strange sounds of the Ghost King's saber technique, but now he had less than 10% of his strength left. Soon, he was at a disadvantage and could only bitterly resist. Except for Ren Qingluo and Ren Qingyu, kill everyone else. Wang Zhe said coldly. The other black-clothed men responded loudly and rushed toward Old Wu and the others. There's a strange guy. Wang Zhe's eyes flashed as he saw Ling Xiao sitting in the center. He immediately laughed and rushed forward with his saber. Brother Ling Xiao, what should we do? What should we do? There's a big bad guy coming. Yu saw Wang Zhe rushing over, and her face turned pale. She grabbed Ling Xiao's arm and said anxiously. Yu don't worry. He can't hurt us. Ling Xiao smiled and patted Yu's little head, comforting her. Wang Zhe, if you dare to touch my sister, I'll kill you. In the distance, Ren Qingluo also saw Wang Zhe walking towards Ling Xiao and Yu. She immediately cried out loudly, and an extremely anxious expression appeared on her face. She unsheathed the long sword on her back and was about to rush over. Ha ha ha. Qingluo, don't worry. I won't harm you, You and you, are both my precious treasures. How could I harm you? But this brat deserves to die. Wang Zhe laughed heartily, and his gaze towards Ling Xiao revealed a trace of cold killing intent. Are you so sure that you can kill me? Ling Xiao said indifferently, his expression extremely calm. What? Wang Zhe's expression changed. He only saw Ling Xiao's finger move. Instantly, two formless sword chi streaked across the air, emitting a chilling sharpness. This time, Ling Xiao didn't try to hide anything and directly attacked. The formless sword chi emitted a monstrous murderous aura and shot towards Wang Zhe. Crack! Wang Zhe's face revealed an extremely shocked expression. He only had time to hold his saber horizontally, and two invisible sword chis shot over. With a crisp sound, the saber was directly shattered into several pieces, and Wang Zhe was also hit by an unparalleled divine power and was sent flying. Puff! Wang Zhe spat out a mouthful of blood and his face instantly turned pale. What? It's really him. In the distance, Ren Qingluo saw everything very clearly. Ling Xiao only moved his finger and the battle blade in Wang Zhe's hand broke into several pieces. Wang Zhe was also sent flying. Wang Zhe was at the 9th level of the spirit transformation realm, but he couldn't even withstand a single blow from Ling Xiao. At the same time, Ling Xiao's attack confirmed Ren Qingluo's guess. The person who secretly attacked during the battle with the demonic beasts was Ling Xiao. Weren't all his meridians broken? How could he be so strong? Ren Qingluo's beautiful eyes were filled with light. Her mouth was wide open, and her face was filled with disbelief. At this moment, Ling Xiao became extremely mysterious in her heart. Puff! Another formless sword chi shot out and Wang Zhe's forehead bloomed with blood. His eyes were filled with disbelief and unwillingness as he fell to the ground and died. After killing Wang Zhe, Ling Xiao was like squashing an ant. He was extremely casual and didn't even look at him. Take care of Yu and leave the rest to me. Ling Xiao walked to Ren Qingluo's side and handed Yu, who was in his arms, to her with a faint smile. Oh, okay. Ren Qingluo agreed and carried Yu in her arms. Ling Xiao walked towards the center of the arena. Big sister, big brother Ling Xiao is so powerful. That big bad guy was instantly killed by him. Look, he's going to save Daddy. Yu'er blinked her big eyes and spoke excitedly. This immediately awakened Ren Qingluo from her daze. Ren Qingluo suddenly turned around. Ling Xiao was wearing white and looked very confident and casual as he walked toward the center of the battlefield. A black-robed man charged at him. His spirit transformation realm cultivation erupted and poured into his blade. He slashed down at Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao didn't even look at him and casually sent out a palm. There was a flash of golden light and the black-robed man let out a miserable cry. The blade in his hand broke and his chest caved in. He flew more than 100 feet before he fell to the ground and stopped breathing. Behind him, two black-robed men's eyes flashed with killing intent and charged at Ling Xiao from the left and right. Ling Xiao's feet moved and he retreated more than 100 feet like a ghost. He stood between the two black-robed men and then his two palms landed on the necks of the black-robed men, causing them to fall to the ground. Furthermore, with a kakacha sound, their necks were completely broken. Just like that, Ling Xiao casually walked forward. His target was the place where Ren Tianqing and Wang Wei were fighting. Along the way, none of the men in black who charged at him were his match. They all died at his hands in an instant. Oh my god, brother Ling Xiao is actually so abnormal. It looks like the one who attacked just now was Ling Xiao. I didn't expect this brat to have hidden his strength so deeply. Old Wu and the other three also opened their mouths wide and their eyes were filled with disbelief. Ling Xiao's attack shocked everyone. That kind of ease, confidence, and ease made killing seem like an art in his hands. He casually took one life after another. Those black-robed men were at least spirit transformation realm cultivators. There were even quite a few dragon tiger realm cultivators, but they all died at Ling Xiao's hands. It looks like the tiger might escort agency kicked an iron plate this time. My Skyline escort agency is saved. Chapter 117. Father is right. He really isn't an ordinary person. Who is he? Ren Qingluo's eyes glowed. She felt that Ling Xiao was becoming more and more mysterious. Looking at Ling Xiao's handsome back, she couldn't help but blush. You actually killed my Little bastard, I'm going to kill you. Wang Wei, who was fighting with Ren Tianqing, also noticed the commotion. When he looked over, his expression changed drastically. Wang Zhe was lying on the grass with his eyes wide open. He was no longer breathing. Wang Wei's eyes were filled with flames of fury. He immediately roared and looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of hatred. The hatred of his son's death was irreconcilable. You can't kill me. You'll be able to see your son soon. Ling Xiao said indifferently. With a slap, the golden heaven-devouring true qi exploded and slammed the head of a black-clothed man into his body. Blood splattered everywhere. However, Ling Xiao's white robe was not stained with any blood. Go to hell. Wang Wei was so angry that he went completely berserk. He slashed out and forced Ren Tianqing to retreat. Then, he pounced on Ling Xiao. Boom! Heaven and earth shook. Black light filled the air. The ghost-head saber swept across the sky. Unparalleled saber radiance poured down and enveloped Ling Xiao. It's little brother Ling. Ren Tianqing was also stunned at this moment. When he saved Ling Xiao, although he felt that Ling Xiao's identity was not ordinary, he didn't expect Ling Xiao to have such powerful combat strength. It was as if he had turned the entire battle around with his own strength. Head escort, the person who secretly attacked in the battle with the demonic beasts just now was also brother Ling Xiao. We didn't expect brother Ling Xiao to be the one who pretended to be weak. Huwei escort agency is going to be defeated this time. This is fucking exciting. Old Wu smacked his lips and waved the mountain-splitting axe in his hand. He said while fighting with a black-clothed man in the dragon tiger realm in front of him. Yes, we didn't expect this. Ren Tianqing sighed. At the same time, he felt a sense of relief. He was glad that he was kind enough to save Ling Xiao. Otherwise, the Heaven Escort Agency would have been wiped out in today's crisis. The sound of ghosts wailing and wolves howling filled the air, and there was a kind of fluctuation that caused people to go insane. However, in the face of Wang Wei's furious attack, Ling Xiao's expression remained calm. His eyes suddenly emitted an incomparably powerful battle intent. Boom! A violent aura burst out from Ling Xiao's body. His heaven-devouring true qi shone brightly and condensed on his fist. It was like a small sun as he punched out. This punch was like a bolt of lightning that soared through the sky, and it emitted the fist Dao concept of Vajra annihilation. It was grand, vast, and peerlessly ferocious as it met the ghost head blade head-on. Wang Wei was the perfect whetstone for him to hone his skills. Back when he was at the Jinqi realm, he wasn't a match for Zhongshe realm cultivators. In fact, he had even been hunted down by the vice sect leader of the Joyful Union sect. Later, when he broke through to the spirit transformation realm, Ling Xiao activated the power of the immortal god sealing array on the Longevity Mountain. He also activated the sky-devouring supreme statue and killed several Zhongshe realm cultivators in a row. He even killed the sky realm Kuan Shi. However, those weren't Ling Xiao's own strength. It could be said that Wang Wei was the first Zhongshe realm cultivator Ling Xiao faced after he broke through to the spirit transformation realm. Ling Xiao also wanted to see how his current strength was compared to a Zhongshe realm cultivator's. "You're courting death." Wang Wei sneered when he saw Ling Xiao use his bare fists to block his ghost head blade. The murderous intent in his eyes became even stronger. The ghost head blade in his hand swept across the sky, wanting to cut off Ling Xiao's arm. Even Ren Tianqing wouldn't dare to block Wang Wei's ghost head blade technique with his bare hands. Ling Xiao, who was only at the spirit transformation realm, was simply courting death. Rumble. The golden sky devouring true energy was as bright as the sun and extremely sharp. When it collided with Wang Wei's ghost head blade qi, a thunderous sound erupted. The ghost head blade qi that filled the sky was scattered by Ling Xiao's fist. Then, Ling Xiao's mighty fist landed on the ghost head blade's body like a bolt of lightning. How is this possible? Wang Wei's eyes revealed a trace of disbelief. The true energy in Ling Xiao's body was even stronger than his Xiantian energy. This was simply beyond his understanding. However, in the next moment, the ghost head blade buzzed and trembled. A bright light erupted. Wang Wei felt as if a divine mountain had landed on the ghost head blade, causing his arm to go numb. His entire body was sent flying by the huge force. Boom! Wang Wei retreated a dozen steps. His face revealed an abnormal flush. His eyes were filled with disbelief. He felt as if Ling Xiao wasn't a human, but a primordial divine beast with monstrous vitality. The terrifying power that erupted from Ling Xiao caused him to tremble in fear. In the distance, Ren Tianqing, Old Wu, and the others were also dumbfounded. At first, they were a little worried about Ling Xiao. After all, Ling Xiao's cultivation seemed to be at the 7th level of the spirit transformation realm. However, this punch was beyond their imagination. To be able to send Wang Wei flying with a single punch, just how terrifying was Ling Xiao's physical strength? Brother Ling Xiao is simply inhuman. Old Wu swallowed his saliva and said with a dry mouth. That's right. His blood qi is extremely vigorous. It's even stronger than a Grandmaster realm expert. In my opinion, in terms of physical strength alone, no expert below the 3rd level of the Grandmaster realm is his match. Ren Tianqing also exclaimed in admiration. Damn it! Who the hell is this kid? How can he be so abnormal? Where did young Master Ouyang go? If this continues, forget about killing Ren Tianqing, this kid will be very difficult to deal with. Wang Wei thought to himself, and his face became extremely ugly. Kid, don't think that you can be so arrogant just because you have a strong physical body. Today, this old man will show you what the strength of a Grandmaster realm expert is. Ghost King descends, devour the void. A cold killing intent flashed in Wang Wei's eyes. With a loud roar, the incomparably powerful innate True Kang burst out from his body. Rumble. Heaven and earth shook violently, and the surrounding forest seemed to be swept up by a fierce wind. Wisps of black killing intent filled Wang Wei's body, and the ghost head blade in his hand trembled violently, as if it had turned into a black hole that could devour everything. It's the forbidden move of the Ghost King blade art, Ghost King descends. Not good. This move is nourished with one's blood essence and true qi to form the Ghost King devour blade intent. It can devour and refine all flesh and blood. It's even more terrifying than a low-grade earth-level martial art. Ling Xiao is in danger. Ren Tianqing's face changed and his eyes became serious. Brother Ling Xiao can even kill a rank 5 demonic beast. He should be able to block this move, right? Old Wu asked with uncertainty. It's hard to say. Beasts are beasts after all. They can't use powerful martial arts. This Ghost King descends is too strange. It can restrain Ling Xiao's vigorous blood qi. However, if Ling Xiao can't block it, I will step in. Chapter 118. Big sister, big brother Ling Xiao will definitely be able to defeat that bad guy, right? Yuer whispered as she felt the pressure. Yes, he definitely will. Ren Qingluo didn't know if she was answering Yuer or talking to herself. Her eyes were filled with nervousness as she clenched her fists so tightly that her knuckles turned white. Rumble. Black evil aura filled the air as a sinister Ghost King with 2 horns on its head appeared in the air. It was surrounded by a boundless devouring blade aura as it pounced towards Ling Xiao. Wang Wei's face turned pale as soon as he used this move. It was obvious that he had paid a huge price for it. The Ghost King's descent caused the air to tremble. The devouring vortex seemed to be able to devour and refine everything, especially Ling Xiao's vigorous vitality. It had a fatal attraction, causing the Ghost King to pounce towards him. Ghost King's descent, devouring the air. What arrogance! Let's see if your Ghost King devours me or if I devour your Ghost King. Ling Xiao sneered as the sky-devouring secret technique exploded. Boom! It was as if a golden storm was spreading out. The heaven-devouring true qi was trembling violently, like endless waves. Behind Ling Xiao, a golden vortex formed. It radiated with heavenly might, as if it could contain everything. Ling Xiao was the sky-devouring sovereign in his previous life. The sky-devouring secret technique was the ancestor of devouring everything. Compared to the sky-devouring secret technique, the so-called Ghost King's descent was simply a joke. Rumble. The huge Ghost King's descent dissipated the moment it collided with the sky-devouring true qi. A boundless suction force came as the huge golden vortex swallowed the Ghost King's descent. The gloomy ghost aura that filled the air was swept away as all the energy was refined by the sky-devouring secret technique. Moreover, an incomparably pure energy was fed back into Ling Xiao's body. In order to use the Ghost King's descent, Wang Wei had sacrificed more than half of his essence blood and innate earth energy. Now, it was all given to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's cultivation had already reached the peak of the 7th level of the spirit transformation realm. At this moment, he could no longer suppress it and broke through the bottleneck with a bang. He had broken through the 8th level of the spirit transformation realm. Not only did Wang Wei's Ghost King descent not cause any harm to Ling Xiao, he even went for wool and came home shorn. He even lost the rice jar and helped Ling Xiao. Puff! Wang Wei spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was as pale as paper, and his aura instantly weakened. It was unknown whether it was because of the backlash from this forbidden technique or because of Ling Xiao's anger. You, Wang Wei pointed at Ling Xiao, his eyes filled with shock and anger. Even the forbidden technique, Descent of the Ghost King, could not deal with Ling Xiao. Wang Wei began to feel despair. How could this kid at the spirit transformation realm be so strong? Ha ha ha, I knew that brother Ling Xiao would definitely not lose. This time, Wang Wei has become an arrow at the end of its flight. He's dead for sure. Old Wu heaved a sigh of relief and laughed heartily. That's right. Wang Wei, this ungrateful bastard, must die. And these people, we can't leave them alive either. Kill them all. A sharp light flashed in Ren Tianqing's eyes. After this incident, he also understood the principle of eliminating the source of trouble. Since the Huwei escort agency was courting death, he might as well fulfill their wish. Kill! Old Wu and the others roared and charged toward the remaining black-clothed men. At this moment, the black-clothed men had also witnessed the battle between Ling Xiao and Wang Wei. Even the head of the escorts, Wang Wei, had been defeated. They were all frightened and no longer had any will to fight. In addition, Ren Tianqing, a grandmaster, had joined the battle. The black-clothed men were forced to retreat. Not long after, there were less than 10 black-clothed men who could stand up. On the ground, blood flowed like a river, emitting a strong smell of blood. Brat, even if you kill me, you will die for sure. Young Master Ouyang will avenge me. No one will be able to save you. Wang Wei knew that he was going to die, but he was still strong-willed. He did not beg for mercy and looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of resentment. Young Master Ouyang? Are you talking about the person hiding in the dark? What's his origin? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he asked indifferently. Hee, don't expect to get any information from me. You don't know what kind of existence you have provoked. Not only will you die, but your parents and relatives will also die. No one will be able to save you. Wang Wei sneered as the blood in his mouth became more and more severe. Ling Xiao originally wanted to ask something, but his ears twitched as if he had heard something. His face instantly changed. Rumble. The earth trembled and the sky trembled. In the distance, a dazzling mass of golden light enveloped a huge demonic beast, and it was heading towards them at high speed. Roar! The roar shook the void. The monstrous aura contained a strong evil spirit and madness, as if it was going to destroy everything. It was a huge golden ape. It was hundreds of feet tall and looked like a moving mountain. It was shrouded in golden light and held a huge iron rod in its hand. The blood in its body rushed to the sky as if it could destroy the stars. It emitted an aura that made people's hearts palpitate. Its eyes were blood-red and emitted a crazy fluctuation. The towering ancient trees and huge rocks in front of it were all smashed into powder. Damn it, it's the chaotic demonic ape. Why would it come here? Ling Xiao's face was extremely ugly as he recognized the huge golden ape. It was the chaotic demonic ape that he had encountered before. A peak 6th level demonic beast, comparable to a 9th level sky human realm super demonic beast, had actually appeared here. Moreover, its target seemed to be where Ling Xiao and the others were. Boom! At the same time, Ling Xiao realized that the area he was in was a little different. The ground emitted a demonic blood-red aura. The blood essence of the dead demonic beasts and human experts spread out as if it had gathered into a demonic formation. Endless blood chi spread out, and the area seemed to have turned into a sea of blood. Moreover, it emitted a strange fragrance. The strange fragrance emitted a fluctuation that could make people's blood boil. It was very mysterious. It's the blood spirit demon formation. Damn it, I've been tricked. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he instantly recognized the blood chi. It formed the legendary blood spirit demon formation. The blood spirit demon formation was an ancient formation that was used by powerful martial arts holy lands to capture powerful demonic beasts. The blood spirit demon formation was useless against low-level demonic beasts, but it was very effective against high-level demonic beasts. It could emit a fluctuation of power that could stimulate the bloodline of high-level demonic beasts, causing them to rush over recklessly. There should be very few 7th-level demonic beasts in the fearsome Beast Mountain range. Even if there were, they should be in the depths of the fearsome Beast Mountain range. Therefore, the blood spirit demon formation would only attract 6th-level demonic beasts. Moreover, the range of the fluctuation emitted by the blood spirit demon formation was limited. The real mastermind had probably calculated all of this and used demonic beasts to fight with the heavenly escort agency. In the end, he used the people of the Tiger Escort Agency as scapegoats in order to collect enough blood to activate the blood spirit demon formation. The blood spirit demon formation was very strange. It could not be discovered before it was activated. Therefore, even Ling Xiao was fooled. Chapter 119. What's that? Could it be the legendary Monster King? Oh my god, it's a demonic beast that's hundreds of feet tall. It's a giant golden ape. Let's go, it's coming towards us. Let's go. Everyone's faces were pale. After a brief moment of shock, they all roared out loud. Their eyes were filled with incomparable terror. Compared to the chaotic demonic ape, they were like weak ants that could be easily squashed to death. In the eyes of the chaotic demonic ape, even a Grandmaster Realm expert was just a big ant. They tried so hard to lure the chaotic demonic ape and set up the blood spirit demon transformation formation. They even used the Tiger Escort Agency as cannon fodder. What's the real purpose of the mastermind? Is it the young master Ouyang that Wang Wei mentioned? Ling Xiao's mind was spinning rapidly as he analyzed all the possibilities of this matter. Let's go, let's go. Everyone, retreat. Ren Tianqing, Old Wu, and the rest were terrified. They led the people of the Sky Escort Agency and wanted to leave this strange place. Rumble. However, how fast was the chaotic demonic ape? Almost instantly, it was a few dozen meters away. Miles away. Everyone could even see its eyes that were like blood moons, emitting a cold and mocking light. The chaotic demonic ape had discovered them. It's over, it discovered us. A look of despair appeared in Old Wu's eyes, and his face turned extremely pale. Since they were discovered by the chaotic demonic ape, they had no way to escape. Only death awaited them. No. The mastermind took so much effort, it's impossible for him to let the chaotic demonic ape kill us. He must have other plans, and that plan is where our chance of survival lies. But what does the mastermind want? Beads of sweat even appeared on Ling Xiao's forehead, and his expression became somewhat anxious. No matter how monstrous Ling Xiao was, he stood no chance against the chaotic demonic ape. It could be said that this was the biggest calamity he had faced since his rebirth. Rumble. Right at this moment, a divine ray of light soared through the sky like a river of stars. It illuminated the sky and emanated peerlessly sharp waves of sword energy. Bastard, how dare you! A cold female voice resounded in the air. Accompanied by a divine rainbow of sword chi, a woman in white flew over from afar. The woman in white stood in the void. Her figure was tall and her skin was as white as jade. She exuded an otherworldly temperament, as if she was a fairy from the Moon Palace. She was peerless and independent, with peerless beauty. However, there was a thin veil covering her face, only revealing a pair of eyes that were as bright as the stars. Her entire body was enveloped in a faint multicolored light, making people not dare to look at her directly. She stood in front of the chaotic world demonic ape. Her aura was unfathomable, like the moon in the 9 heavens. Her aura was actually on par with the chaotic world demonic ape. Roar. The chaotic world demonic ape roared. There was a hint of fear in its blood-red eyes. Its chi and blood were extremely violent. It waved the black stick in its hand as if it was demonstrating its power to the woman in white. An elite of the celestial tier. Ren Tianqing's eyes flashed, revealing a trace of shock. The woman in white did not look old, but she was actually an elite of the celestial tier, which surprised and delighted him. Perhaps, everyone's life depended on the woman in white. Bastard, if you don't back off, I'll kill you today. The woman in white's voice was cold and exuded a majestic fluctuation. Looking at the confrontation between the woman in white and the chaotic world demonic ape, Ren Tianqing and the others were extremely nervous. Sister, that sister goddess in the sky seems to be the sister we met when we entered the fearsome beast mountain range. Her looked curiously at the woman in white in the sky and said to Ren Qingluo. The sister we met when we entered the fearsome beast mountain range? Seems like it. Ren Qingluo also looked carefully and nodded. Oh. You met her before. How did you meet her? Ling Zhao's ears twitched when he heard the conversation between and Ren Qingluo. He walked over and asked curiously. Looking at Ling Zhao, Ren Qingluo's face turned slightly red, but she still said softly, when we entered the fearsome beast mountain range a month ago, we met a sister in white. She traveled with us for a while and was very nice to you and me. She once said that she would introduce us to a sect called the Jade Lake sect, but later she seemed to have something to do and left in advance. She only said that she would come and find us again. Ren Qingluo recalled the situation as she recounted the situation. The more she recalled, the more she felt that the woman in white in the sky was the person they had met before. The Jade Lake sect. So that's it. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed and his heart trembled slightly. He had guessed many things. Ling Zhao had heard of the Jade Lake sect. It was a martial arts holy land like the Sun Moon Stars sect and the Wanshou sect. However, the sect was full of women and was very strict in accepting disciples. It was also very mysterious. Usually, it was not active in the great wilderness ancient country, but in other countries. However, it was interesting that the people of the Jade Lake sect would appear in the fearsome beast mountain range. Although there was no evidence, Ling Zhao had guessed that perhaps the target of the mastermind was this woman in white. It's getting more and more interesting. Ling Zhao's mouth curled into a smile. The chaotic world demonic ape was a rank 6 demonic beast. Its intelligence was no different from that of an ordinary person. Although it could not speak human language or take human form, it could understand the meaning of the woman in white. It was instantly enraged. Roar! The chaotic world demonic ape let out an earth-shattering roar. It suddenly raised its head and let out a long roar. Its huge fists pounded on its chest, and the huge iron cudgel in its hand was instantly grasped by it and smashed toward the woman in white. Rumble! The iron cudgel was hundreds of feet high and several sheets thick. At this moment, it fell across the sky as if a pillar of heaven had collapsed. It emitted a rumbling sound and the void trembled violently. The woman in white's eyes flashed sharply. She turned into a streamer and disappeared in an instant. Boom! The iron cudgel fell and flattened a small hill. The earth shook and sand and stones flew. Several towering ancient trees burst into pieces and a huge chasm appeared on the ground. The power of the cudgel was so great. Evil creature, how dare you? The white-robed woman said coldly. She pointed with her slender finger, and suddenly, a divine rainbow streaked across the sky. It was a blazing sword light, and it was as bright as the sun. It swept across the sky and slashed towards the chaotic world demonic ape. Clang! The chaotic world demonic ape raised its black iron cudgel to block the attack. Suddenly, sparks flew in all directions. The sharp sword radiance swept in all directions and broke out an earth-shattering airwave. Although they were 10 miles away, everyone could feel the terrifying aura as if it was going to destroy the world. The oppressive battle fluctuations made them turn pale. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Ren Tianqing made a prompt decision. This was a great opportunity. While the woman in white was fighting with the chaotic world demonic ape, they would be completely safe as long as they left the area covered by the blood spirit demon transformation formation. As for Wang Wei and the people from the Huwei escort agency, they were all killed by Ren Tianqing's sword. Chapter 120. Everyone ran dozens of miles in one breath and left the area covered by the blood spirit demon transformation formation. The sense of crisis also faded a lot. On the top of a small mountain, Ling Zhao, Ren Tianqing, and the others looked into the distance. In the distance, a ball of golden light and a ball of cyan light collided at an extremely fast speed, erupting an earth-shattering wave that swept across the void. That was the battle between the woman in white and the chaotic world demonic ape. Even from so far away, people could feel a wave of palpitations. At this moment, the sky was just beginning to brighten. After a night, everyone was tired and hungry. Everyone, work harder. We can leave the fierce beast mountain range in a few dozen miles. When we return to Qinghua City, we will be completely safe. Ren Tianqing said to the crowd. There was a look of relief in his eyes, as if he had just survived a disaster. Head escort, I won't go with you. I still have some things to do. Ling Xiao said with a slight smile. What? You want to leave? Ren Tianqing was slightly stunned. A hint of worry flashed in his eyes as he said, Ling Xiao, this fierce beast mountain range is full of dangers. Even the demonic beasts comparable to the celestial realm have come out. It must be very dangerous for you to stay here. Why don't you come back to Qinghua City with us first and then make plans? Ren Qingluo heard that Ling Xiao was going to leave and quickly said, Yes, Ling Xiao, it's too dangerous for you to stay here. I guess you want to find the real culprit behind this, right? But if he can make such a big plan, he must not be an ordinary person. Old Wu also persuaded, that's right. Brother Ling Xiao, you see, even Qingluo is reluctant to let you go. You are our savior. How can we let you die? Ren Qingluo's face turned red. She glared at Old Wu but didn't refute. Looking at so many concerned eyes, Ling Xiao smiled and said, Don't worry, I won't provoke the demonic beast and the woman in white. I won't look for the culprit either. I really have something to do, and it's very safe. When I'm done, I'll go to Qinghua City to find you. Seeing Ling Xiao so determined, Ren Tianqing and the others could only stop persuading him. In that case, Ling Xiao, you have to be careful. Although Ling Xiao was only at the spirit transformation realm, he was no weaker than a Grandmaster realm cultivator. As long as he didn't provoke those powerful demonic beasts, there was nothing to worry about. You, be careful. Ren Qingluo opened her mouth, but she didn't know what to say. Seeing Ling Xiao's gentle gaze, her cheeks turned red again. Big brother Ling Xiao, you, will wait for you to come back and teach me martial arts. I'll go help you, big baddie. You, sat in Ren Qingluo's arms with a look of reluctance on her face as she waved at Ling Xiao. Thank you for your concern. We'll meet again. Ling Xiao smiled confidently. He turned around and flew off into the distance. Every step he took covered dozens of feet. He stepped on the green grass as if he was walking on air. Not long after, he disappeared from everyone's sight. Ling Xiao is blessed by the heavens. He'll definitely be fine. Let's go back too. Ren Tianqing smiled and continued to lead the group towards Qinghua City. Ling Xiao was heading towards the place where the chaotic demonic ape and the white-clothed woman were fighting. The reason why Ling Xiao said that he had something else to do was that he didn't want Ren Tianqing and the others to worry. However, the mastermind behind the scenes had set up such a shocking plan and triggered a battle between two celestial beings. Ling Xiao had been schemed against and had become a pawn of the mastermind. This made Ling Xiao very unhappy. Therefore, he wanted to see who the mastermind behind the scenes was. Ling Xiao operated the sky-devouring secret skill and concealed his aura. He moved stealthily towards the place where the chaotic demonic ape and the white-clothed woman were fighting. Ling Xiao stopped a dozen miles away from them. He hid on top of a towering ancient tree and watched the battle between the Celestials and the Celestials. Rumble. In the distant void, the golden divine light was blazing and dazzling. It was like a thunderbolt that was unparalleled and unleashed a terrifying destructive force. The chaotic demonic ape and the white-clothed woman seemed to be in a real fight. The roar of the chaotic demonic ape shook the sky. It waved the huge iron cudgel in its hand and a strong wind swept in all directions. The rocks and plants that were touched by the iron cudgel were all turned into dust. Swoosh! 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 Green sword light traversed the void. It was as bright as the Milky Way. Every sword strike was as sharp as lightning. The white-clothed woman stood in the air with a green ancient sword in her hand. Her clothes fluttered in the wind and the sword light was sharp. Every sword strike would leave a bloody mark on the chaotic demonic ape's body. That kind of sword intent was indomitable and vast. It was like the moon above the ninth heaven, emitting a cold and bright radiance. Clang! The white-clothed woman slashed her sword again. The chaotic demonic ape raised its iron cudgel to block. Blazing rays of light swept in all directions and cut several towering ancient trees into pieces. Rumble! The iron cudgel swept across like a pillar. The white-clothed woman's figure flashed and dodged. A mountain peak was directly smashed by the chaotic demonic ape's cudgel. Sand and stones flew and the earth rumbled. In the place where the human and the demonic beast were fighting, countless crisscrossed chasms appeared on the ground. Countless demonic beasts that couldn't escape in time were turned into blood mist. This was the battle between the celestial being. The experts in the celestial being realm could draw upon the power of heaven and earth continuously. Under the oneness of heaven and man, they could erupt with destructive power. Moreover, although the chaotic world demonic ape was only at the peak of the rank 6 demonic beast, it was an Archean variant. Its bloodline power was extremely powerful. A chaotic world demonic ape at the peak of the rank 6 demonic beast could even fight a rank 7 demonic beast. However, the white-clothed woman was able to fight against the chaotic demonic ape, injuring and suppressing it. This showed how terrifying the white-clothed woman was. That woman seems to be injured. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He felt that the white-clothed woman's figure trembled. It seemed that she was a little unstable and was about to fall from the void. The chaotic demonic ape, which had been suppressed by the white-clothed woman, seized this opportunity. The golden divine light all over its body was blazing. Finally, it spat out a dazzling golden light across the sky. As soon as the golden light came out, heaven and earth suddenly changed color. The sun and the moon lost their light. There was a vast golden light between heaven and earth, falling toward the white-clothed woman. It's the infinite gunmetal sword Qi. Ling Xiao's eyes were shocked. He recognized the origin of the golden light. The chaotic demonic ape was an Archean variant. It was born and raised by the earth. It was divided into 5 elements. Moreover, the Archean variant was extremely talented. When it cultivated to a certain level, it could awaken its bloodline power. The infinite gunmetal sword Qi was the bloodline power awakened by the chaotic demonic ape. In other words, the chaotic demonic ape was a metal attribute demonic beast. The chaotic demonic ape has awakened the infinite gunmetal sword Qi. The demonic pill in its body is a top metal attribute spiritual seed. If I can refine it, my sky-devouring spiritual seed will definitely reach the consummation level. What a pity. Chapter 121. The chaotic world demonic ape was smart. It didn't use its bloodline ability at first. Instead, it used the infinite gunmetal sword Qi when it saw that the woman's breath was unstable and seemed to be suffering from an internal injury. Faced with the boundless gunmetal sword Qi, the white-clothed woman's eyes revealed an extremely solemn expression. Purple cloud descends, eternal divine sword. The woman in white shouted in a low voice. Her face instantly turned pale. She stepped in the void and formed a seal with the ancient green sword in her hand. The stars in the sky lit up at this moment. Rumble. Between heaven and earth, thunder roared. The stars in the sky all fell with bright starlight at this moment. It was gorgeous and dazzling, as vast as the sea. The woman in white pointed the ancient green sword in her hand at the void. Strands of purple lightning condensed out of thin air and finally turned into a huge purple light sword that was thousands of feet long. It bloomed with infinite light and slashed down at the chaotic world demonic ape. It's the purple cloud godly sword technique? Ling Xiao was shocked. The martial art that the woman in white used was the purple cloud godly sword technique. Ling Xiao had an extremely deep impression of this sword technique. The purple cloud godly sword technique was an upper-grade heaven-level martial art created by Ling Xiao in his previous life. Later on, it was passed down to a true disciple. Ling Xiao had a total of 7 true disciples in his previous life, and each of them had inherited a unique technique from him. Although the purple cloud godly sword technique was only an upper-grade heaven-level martial art, when cultivated to the extreme and condensed the purple cloud emperor real body, it could erupt with power comparable to a supreme martial art. However, it was too difficult to cultivate the purple cloud godly sword technique to the extreme. Even the true disciple of Ling Xiao in his previous life didn't cultivate it to the extreme. Therefore, the purple cloud godly sword technique was only an upper-grade heaven-level martial art. Is the Jade Lake sect a sect founded by Han Gong? Ling Xiao thought to himself. The name of the true disciple in his previous life was Ji Hangong. She was the youngest disciple. When Ling Xiao died in his previous life, Ji Hangong had just broken through to the monarch realm. The purple cloud godly sword technique is a martial art that can only be cultivated in the noble realm. It's too strenuous to use it with the cultivation of the celestial realm. Ling Xiao shook his head. Sure enough, after using this move, the woman's body swayed even more. Obviously, she had paid a great price. But the power of this sword technique was extremely terrifying. Rumble. Almost in an instant, the huge purple light sword collided with the boundless gung metal sword Qi, and a powerful shockwave erupted. With the chaotic world demonic ape and the woman in white as the center, the area within a radius of 10 miles was shrouded in blazing divine light. The earth trembled violently, and countless plants, trees, mountains, and rocks were reduced to dust. Even Ling Xiao, who was more than a dozen miles away, felt his blood churn when he was swept by the monstrous wave. Although the boundless gung metal sword Qi was the bloodline ability of the chaotic world demonic ape, how could it compare to the purple cloud divine sword art? Kacha! After resisting for almost a moment, the huge golden sword light shattered with a loud bang. The 10,000 feet long purple sword light continued to fall toward the chaotic world demonic ape. Roar! The chaotic world demonic ape roared. Its blood-red eyes revealed a trace of horror. It hurriedly raised its huge iron rod to block the attack. It had never thought that the tiny human who looked like he was about to die would be able to unleash such a terrifying attack. Kacha! The huge iron rod in the chaotic world demonic ape's hand was cut in half. The sky was filled with purple cloud divine thunder, accompanied by the extremely sharp sword Qi, enveloped the chaotic world demonic ape. Roar! 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 A violent scream was heard. The chaotic world demonic ape writhed violently, and the earth trembled violently. When the divine light gradually dissipated, the scene inside was revealed. At this moment, the chaotic world demonic ape looked extremely miserable. The purple cloud divine sword left a huge bloody mark on its chest. From the bottom of its head to the bottom of its abdomen, it was dripping with blood. Its entire body was almost cut in half. The chaotic world demonic ape's eyes revealed an extremely horrified look. This sword had completely frightened it. It roared at the woman in white, dragged its severely injured body, turned around, and fled. Puff! The woman in white could no longer hold it in. She suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Her body swayed, and she fell from the void. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and he also rushed toward the place where the woman in white had fallen. The reason why Ling Xiao did not choose to chase after the chaotic world demonic ape was that although the chaotic world demonic ape was severely injured and dying, it was still not something that Ling Xiao could contend with. If Ling Xiao had any thoughts about its monster core, he was afraid that he would be slapped to death by it. The woman in white was from the Jade Lake sect, and she had some kind of connection with the disciple of Ling Xiao in his previous life. Ling Xiao naturally wanted to go over and ask about it. He did not get any answers about what happened after his death in the Changsun sect. Ling Xiao hoped that he could find some clues in the Jade Lake sect. Ling Xiao passed through layers of dense forests, climbed over a mountain, and finally came to a deep valley. The direction where the woman in white had fallen should be here. Ling Xiao's aura was restrained to the extreme. He was like a cold stone, and there was no fluctuation of life emitted from him. He passed through a bamboo forest in the valley, and walked carefully toward it. Ling Xiao's ears twitched. He heard a sound coming from the front, and his footsteps became slower and slower. Raising a breath of genuine qi, Ling Xiao stepped on the withered leaves without making any sound. His figure was like a ghost. At the end of the bamboo forest, there was the sound of water flowing. Ling Xiao carefully probed with his mental strength. There was a waterfall, and snow-white water fell from the cliff. Below it was a deep pool, and the woman in white was floating above the pool. Her aura was extremely weak. How could she be so seriously injured? Even if she had to pay a price to use the purple heaven swordsmanship, she shouldn't have been injured to this extent. Could it be that she was injured before? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and he was about to walk out of the dense forest and bring the woman in white up. Whoosh! However, at this moment, a white figure appeared by the pool and turned into a handsome young man with a folding fan in his hand. The young man looked similar to Ling Xiao. He was only 15 or 16 years old, but there was a touch of evil and cold light in his eyes. Furthermore, Ling Xiao could sense an unfathomable aura from him. 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm. What a high cultivation! Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. Fortunately, he didn't act impulsively. Otherwise, he would have bumped into this young man. Moreover, this young man gave Ling Xiao a faint sense of danger. Subordinate Ouyang Yu greets your majesty. A cold light flashed in the handsome young man's eyes, but he knelt down respectfully to the woman in white in the pool. Ouyang Yu? Young Master Ouyang? Ling Xiao's eyes moved. Could this Ouyang Yu be the young Master Ouyang that Wang Wei mentioned? The real mastermind behind this? Chapter 122. Ouyang Yu knelt there for a long time, but the woman in white did not respond. It was as if she had really fainted. Your Majesty, I've offended you. Ouyang Yu said softly. Then, a powerful Xiantian Gang Qi spread out and turned into a long rainbow. It directly lifted the white-clothed woman from the pool and gently placed her on the edge of the pool. At this moment, the woman in white's clothes were completely wet, outlining her perfect curves that would make one's blood boil. Her skin was as white as jade, her fingers were slender, and the two peaks in front of her chest were perfectly round and towering. Her thin clothes clung tightly to her skin, and the faintly discernible scenery caused one's imagination to run wild. Although her face was still covered by a veil, it made one imagine what kind of peerless beauty was under the veil. Ouyang Yu looked at the woman in white in front of him, and a trace of passion appeared in his eyes. However, he still checked carefully and found that the woman in white's breathing was very weak. She had fallen into an unconscious state. Your Majesty, I'm going to give you a healing pill. I've offended you. An evil fire flashed in Ouyang Yu's eyes, and he reached out to grab the veil on the woman's face. When Ling Xiao saw this, a faint mocking smile appeared on his lips. Whoosh! Just when Ouyang Yu's hand was an inch away from the woman in white's face, the woman in white suddenly opened her eyes. Her beautiful eyes, which were like stars, were filled with a cold expression. Ouyang Yu, what are you trying to do? A cold and dignified voice sounded, and Ouyang Yu's hand froze in midair. Your Majesty, please forgive me. I only wanted to give you a healing pill. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. Ouyang Yu's face was filled with terror, and he hurriedly knelt down. Didn't I already let you return to your country? What are you doing here? The woman in white's cold gaze softened a little, but she still asked doubtfully. Your Majesty, we have indeed returned to our country. However, on the way back, I heard a shocking piece of news, so I came to report it to your Majesty. Your Majesty, are you all right? Ouyang Yu carefully raised his head and asked. I'm fine. The white-clothed woman slowly sat up and her body emitted a blazing light. Immediately, the water on her clothes evaporated. Her eyes regained their calmness and her face became rosy. Get up. What shocking news? Tell me. Yang Yu's eyes narrowed when she saw the woman in white drying her clothes so easily. However, she still said respectfully, Your Majesty, I've received news that the Nanzhao king has colluded with the ministers of the imperial court and conspired to rebel. He has taken down 81 cities in a month and is about to reach Xuandu city. Nanzhao king rebelled. Damn it. The white-clothed woman's eyes flashed, revealing a trace of coldness. I was looking for Your Majesty in the ferocious Beast Mountain range and accidentally saw the battle between Your Majesty and the chaotic world demonic ape, so I found this place. Your Majesty, you still need to return to Xuandu city as soon as possible. Otherwise, my great Xian dynasty will be in danger. Yang Yu had a loyal and devoted look on her face. But, there was a trace of anxiety in her eyes. She explained in a few words why she was here, and dispelled the doubts in the heart of the woman in white. In the distance, Ling Xiao was slightly taken aback. Wasn't this white-clothed woman from the Jade Lake sect? How did she become the empress of the Great Mysterious Ancient Kingdom? The Great Mysterious Ancient Kingdom and the Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom were very far apart. Why did this white-clothed woman come to the ferocious Beast Mountain range of the Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom? Ling Xiao pondered in his heart. The hidden things were becoming more and more confusing. Your Majesty, this is an eternal creation pill that I obtained with great difficulty. I hope Your Majesty can recover from your injuries as soon as possible and kill your way back to Xuandu city. Yang Yu's eyes flashed. She took out a pink jade bottle from her bosom and gently opened it. Immediately, a fragrance assailed the nostrils. The white-clothed woman did not take it. She sniffed the fragrance and nodded, You actually have such a peerless treasure pill like the eternal creation pill? That's rare. Your loyalty is commendable. However, I have my own healing elixir. You can leave now. I'm going to start healing. The eternal creation pill was a peerless healing elixir. It had an incomparably powerful effect on the experts of the celestial realm. Just one eternal creation pill could heal all injuries. However, the white-clothed woman was cautious and did not take it. Yang Yu knelt there and did not do anything. The fragrance in the pink jade bottle became stronger and stronger. It even emitted a dazzling aura. Yang Yu, why are you still not leaving? The white-clothed woman frowned. However, her expression changed greatly in an instant. This medicinal fragrance is not the eternal creation pill. Yang Yu, how dare you? The white-clothed woman shouted. Her face revealed an abnormal flush. At first, the fragrance made people feel comfortable. The medicinal fragrance was very similar to the eternal creation pill. Therefore, the white-clothed woman did not suspect anything. However, as the medicinal fragrance became stronger, it emitted a fluctuation that made people confused. It was as if it had aroused the most primitive desire in their hearts. The white-clothed woman's snow-white neck began to turn red. Her entire body surged with a dry heat. Beads of sweat began to appear on her white forehead. Your Majesty the Empress, do you feel sore and powerless all over? Your entire body is hot and your heart is beating faster. Do you have an impulse to take off all your clothes? Yang Yu retreated more than 100 feet. With a flick of her finger, a chi sword shot out. The pink jade bottle exploded with a loud bang. An even more intense and strange fragrance was emitted from it, enveloping the white-clothed woman. At this moment, there was no longer a trace of respect on Yang Yu's face. Her eyes were blazing, as if she wanted to strip the white-clothed woman in front of her, revealing endless lust. Yang Yu, I have treated you well. You actually poisoned me. The white-clothed woman's body emitted a green light, sweeping away all the fragrance. However, she had already absorbed some of it. The toxicity of the fragrance was extremely overbearing. Although she tried her best to resist it, the dry heat in her heart became more and more intense. The most primitive impulse made the white-clothed woman feel both ashamed and angry. She wanted to go crazy. Her gaze was extremely cold. If looks could kill, Yang would have died countless times. Your Majesty the Empress, how could I bear to poison you? Don't worry, this is not poison. This is the goddess disrobing powder. It is refined from dozens of kinds of peerless spiritual herbs. It is much more precious than the eternal creation pill. Even the Jyotian goddess would be unable to resist taking off her clothes and become the most woman. Moreover, there is no antidote for this goddess disrobing powder. You must have intercourse with a strong man. Otherwise, you will be burned to death by lust. Chapter 123. O Yang, you deserve to die. The woman in white shouted in a low voice. Her expression changed drastically, and her eyes were filled with terror. How could she not know? This so-called goddess undressing powder was not a poison, but a... The red-robed woman's face became more and more flushed. Her long eyelashes fluttered, and her beautiful eyes began to show signs of lust, causing her to become more and more ashamed and angry. She was already seriously injured. After inhaling the goddess undressing powder, her remaining true energy was used to suppress the restlessness in her heart. Facing Yang, who had already cautiously retreated far away, the white-robed woman was powerless. The white-robed woman was frightened by the goddess undressing powder. If her body was really taken by Yang, even if she killed him 10 times, so what? Thinking about this, the white-robed woman's heart almost died. Yang, if you dare to touch me, I will kill your 9 generations. The white-robed woman weakly said. However, at this moment, her body was weak and her voice was very soft, as if she was flirting with a lover. Goddess undressing powder. This Yang's real target is the Empress of the great mysterious ancient kingdom? Truly courageous and shameless. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed with a cold light, but he did not have any intention of attacking. With his current cultivation, even if he used all of his trump cards, he was still not Yang's opponent. Ling Zhao did not have any thoughts of losing his life for a woman. Moreover, he felt that this white-robed woman, as the Empress of a kingdom, was not so simple. However, Yang was also very cunning. Even at this moment, when the white-robed woman did not seem to have any power to resist, he still retreated 10 zhang away and was very vigilant. Obviously, Yang also knew how powerful the white-robed woman was. Your Majesty, you don't know, but you are the goddess in my heart. I have long loved you to the point of madness, but you are high above, sacred and inviolable. You simply cannot see my existence. Thinking that today, you will become my woman and enjoy my pleasure under my body, I will go crazy with excitement. Moreover, you will definitely not kill me. Wait until you and I reach paradise, then your primordial yin will be taken by my yin-yang union of joy art. You will forever be my woman and will never betray me. Yang's face was red. His eyes flashed with a trace of madness as he laughed loudly. Poof, the white-robed woman's anger rushed to her heart. She spat out a mouthful of blood, and her aura instantly weakened. The desire in her heart became more and more intense. Her body became itchy, as if there were countless ants crawling on it. The urge to take off her clothes became more and more intense. As the flames of lust burned in her heart, the white-clothed woman's gaze became more and more blurred. The last bit of rationality in her heart was gradually being eroded. She placed her slender jade-like hands on the white robe and tugged it with all her might. Suddenly, a large piece of her clothes was torn apart, revealing snow-white skin that would make people go crazy. One could even see the snow-white skin in front of her chest, as well as the ravine that would make people's blood boil. The woman in white even began to moan in ecstasy, and her delicate body began to twist and turn. Your Majesty, let me take care of you. A woman's fragrance wafted over, causing Yang's entire body to heat up. even the lower half of his body had a reaction. But just as Yang Yu was about to pounce on the white-robed woman, her eyes suddenly became clear. Her eyes were full of cold murderous intent. Yang Yu, you deserve to die. A bright brilliance bloomed in the white-robed woman's palm. The cyan sword Qi was incomparably sharp. It contained a terrifying aura that could destroy everything. It fiercely slammed toward Yang Yu's chest. What? Yang Yu was scared out of his wits. His eyes were full of disbelief. How could the white-robed woman wake up again? However, there was no time for him to think too much. The distance between the two of them was too close, and the white-clothed woman had struck out in anger. Yang Yu only had time to shift his body a few inches, avoiding the vital point of his heart, but he was still struck by the palm. Boom! The attack of a heaven-tier warrior was no small matter. The terrifying power of this palm did not hit Yang Yu's heart, but it still hit Yang Yu's right arm. A bloody mist exploded. Yang Yu's right arm was directly smashed into pieces by this palm. Yang Yu let out an extremely painful scream. He was directly blasted dozens of feet away and crashed into the ground in the distance. Blood spurted out of his mouth. With one palm, Yang Yu was instantly seriously injured. What a pity! A trace of pity flashed in the white-robed woman's eyes. But then her face turned red, and she spurted out another mouthful of blood. She did not hesitate to tear off her clothes to lure Yang Yu. In the end, although Yang Yu's arm was crippled, she still could not kill him. After all, she had experienced repeated injuries. She was already an arrow at the end of its flight. And after this attack, she no longer had any strength to resist. Her injuries were even more serious. The goddess's undressing powder took the opportunity to counterattack. She could no longer suppress it, and her face began to flush red. Bitch, you actually crippled my arm. You actually crippled my arm. I will rape you 10,000 times, and then sell you to the most lowly brothel. Every day, you will be played by 100 strong men. Yang Yu miserably screamed as he walked step by step towards the white-robed woman. His face was filled with incomparable madness. His body was dripping with blood, and he was like a demon that walked out of hell. With one arm crippled, it meant that Yang Yu had no hope of reaching the heaven realm in this lifetime. As for the legendary treasures that could regrow a severed arm, it was impossible for him to obtain them. The white-robed woman's palm could be said to have crippled Yang Yu's martial path. How could he not go crazy? I say you deserve to die, so you will die without a doubt. That little brat in the dark, quickly come out and kill him for me. The white-robed woman did her best to resist the corrosion of the goddess's undressing powder as she coldly said. What? There's still someone in the dark. Yang Yu's expression changed. He vigilantly looked around, but there was only silence. There was nothing. Ling Xiao, on the other hand, was frightened. Truly worthy of being the empress of the grand mysterious ancient kingdom. This woman is truly ruthless. Now, she wants to trick this young master into blocking the blade for you. This young master originally wanted to be a hero that saves the beauty, but since you dare to scheme against this young master will not come out. Let's see what you can do. Ling Xiao secretly thought in his heart. He grinned with a mischievous expression as if he was watching a play. Little brat, I did not trick you. I know that you are hiding 920 zhang north of the bamboo forest. Help me kill Yang Yu, and I will bestow upon you the title of king equal to one of the grand mysterious ancient kingdom. The white-robed woman's gaze looked towards the direction where Ling Xiao was hiding and lightly said. Bitch, there is no one here, and you still want to trick me? Today, even if the heavenly emperor came, he still wouldn't be able to save you. Chapter 124. Sigh, I originally wanted to watch a good show, but since you look down on me, I can only come out and accompany you in a melodramatic drama of a hero saving a damsel in distress. Hey, you brat, why don't you quickly put down that woman, or I'll cut off your head and kill you. Ling Xiao shook his head and decided to act in the end. Step by step, he walked out of the bamboo forest. The rising sun shone on his face, illuminating his handsome and unruly face. He had a wild grass in his mouth. His white robe fluttered in the wind, looking very clean. His eyes were filled with a lazy and casual smile. Seeing this youth, the woman in white was slightly startled. She suddenly felt a sense of regret. Should she have called this youth out? He looked like he was only 15 or 16 years old and was only at the 8th level of the spirit transformation realm. The sun was beautiful and his smile was clean. Was this youth really going to die here because of her words? Yang Yu was also startled, but after seeing Ling Xiao's cultivation, she sneered and her eyes were filled with ridicule. A mere 8th level of the spirit transformation realm dares to play the hero and save the damsel in distress? Brat, since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Yang Yu's eyes flashed with killing intent as she charged toward Ling Xiao with a palm strike. Although one of Yang Yu's arms was crippled and she was seriously injured, she still had the battle strength of a spirit transformation realm cultivator. In her opinion, she could kill this kid at the spirit transformation realm with a single palm strike. Ling Xiao stood there without moving. The smile on his face was still there and he didn't panic at all. However, in the eyes of Yang Yu and the woman in white, it was as if Ling Xiao had been scared silly. I've let you down. There was a flash of pity in the woman's eyes and she closed her eyes as if she had accepted her fate. Roar. However, just at this moment, a heaven-shaking dragon roar echoed through the forest. It was mighty, majestic, and mysterious. It was as if an ancient dragon had awakened from its slumber. Boom! When Yang Yu's palm arrived, Ling Xiao's eyes flashed and he also threw out a punch. Unparalleled fist intent erupted and his blood surged like the sea. At this moment, how was Ling Xiao still a handsome youth? It was clearly a humanoid beast. The flood dragon's blood boiled as if it was burning. Blood chi surged, and the dragon's roar was loud and clear. Accompanied by the red clouds that filled the sky, an incomparably huge golden fist appeared in the void. Boom! As the fist and palm collided, an endless amount of Xiantian earth energy surged out, causing the void to tremble. Ling Xiao's figure swayed slightly, while Yang Yu flew back at an even faster speed. Her blood was in turmoil, and her face was somewhat pale. How is this possible? Yang Yu's eyes revealed a trace of disbelief. The youth before him seemed to only be at the spirit transformation realm, but the power he displayed was comparable to that of a martial scholar. Who are you? Kid, if you retreat obediently, I can spare your life. Otherwise, you will definitely die today. Yang Yu said coldly. Ling Xiao sneered and said, a cripple like you really talks big. This young master will definitely save the damsel in distress today. Use whatever methods you have, this young master will receive them. You're courting death. Yang Yu's face instantly darkened. She said coldly, Kid, don't think that you can be arrogant just because you can take one of my palms. Since you want to die, I will fulfill your wish. Boom! Yang Yu's body emitted a monstrous black divine light. His Xiantian earth energy was cold and eerie, emitting a chilling ghostly aura. It was as if countless ghosts were floating around him. A huge saber aura swept across the sky, flashing with a black sharpness. It was like a saber technique from hell, containing a cold, dark, and eerie fluctuation. Ghost King's Slaughter Saber, 7 Ultimate Slash. Yang Yu shouted. The huge saber aura in the void instantly split into 7 rays of saber light, slashing down at Ling Xiao like lightning. Ling Xiao's gaze turned slightly serious. This Ghost King's Slaughter Saber was not simple. Just the 7 Ultimate Slash alone was comparable to a low earth level martial technique. Moreover, Yang Yu's saber technique was completely natural, carrying with it an absolute saber intent that could destroy everything. Yang Yu was an important figure in the great Xian ancient kingdom. He had a powerful martial Dao inheritance. Naturally, a grandmaster like Wang Wei could not compare to him. Only a grandmaster's cultivation coupled with a powerful martial technique could unleash a truly terrifying power. However, there was no fear in Ling Xiao's eyes. Instead, a powerful battle intent surged out. Only by exchanging blows with such an expert could he improve and surpass himself. There were great terrors between life and death, but there were also great opportunities. Arhat descends, Vajra subdues demons. Ling Xiao stomped his foot, causing the earth to rumble. His entire body was shrouded in a golden light. Heaven-devouring true qi erupted and bloomed in the void. It was as if a Vajra Arhat bathed in golden light had descended from the sky. Ling Xiao punched out, and the Vajra Arhat also punched out. It merged with Ling Xiao's fist and pressed down on Yangyu. Boom! The void trembled and divine light surged. The Xiantian earth energy twisted the surrounding bamboo forest into a mess. The 7 rays of saber light from the 7 ultimate slash were extremely sharp. They instantly landed on the Vajra Arhat and exploded at the same time. Both Ling Xiao and Yangyu trembled and retreated a dozen steps. Ling Xiao's qi and blood surged. There was a hint of admiration in his eyes. As expected of the 7 ultimate slash. In terms of power, it had surpassed the 7 stars transform moon sword. Ling Xiao guessed that the Ghost King's slaughter saber had reached the earth-level upper-grade martial arts in terms of power. It was extremely extraordinary. Moreover, Ling Xiao could faintly feel that the Ghost King's slaughter saber was similar to the Ghost King's saber technique that Wang Wei had used. The Ghost King's saber technique was probably just an entry-level martial technique of the Ghost King's slaughter saber. Yangyu was extremely shocked to see Ling Xiao unscathed after receiving the 7 ultimate slash. Moreover, the fist technique that Ling Xiao used was grand and majestic. It was as if it had subdued his Ghost King's slaughter saber. What was the origin of this young man? With such monstrous talent, even in the several great holy lands, there were very few disciples with such peerless talent. Moreover, he couldn't tell Ling Xiao's background from his martial arts at all. Cough, cough, Yangyu coughed lightly, and a trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. His right arm was crippled, and his internal organs were injured. He had been suppressing his injuries to fight Ling Xiao. Once he used his full strength, his injuries could not be suppressed and were showing signs of worsening. No, I have to end this quickly. This young man is too strange. If this continues, something will happen after a while. Yangyu thought to himself. There was a hint of fear and murderous intent in his eyes. 1000 Mirage Slash. Yangyu shouted in a low voice. His entire body was covered in a ghostly aura. His figure flashed in the void and instantly turned into countless afterimages. A cold, dark, and terrifying murderous aura filled the air. Countless rays of blazing saber light merged with the afterimages in the sky and shot toward Ling Xiao. Although this move was not as grand as the 7 ultimate slash, it was extremely strange. The entire world seemed to have turned into a land of death. Yangyu's afterimages were everywhere, and the cold saber light was everywhere. Chapter 125. Infinite Darkness Sword. A cold light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. He felt a strong sense of danger from Yangyu's sword. The evil vanquisher ancient sword was unsheathed, emitting a dazzling sword light. A dark, cold, and mysterious aura came over. The sky was filled with black sword light. Accompanied by a clanging sound, the evil vanquisher ancient sword slashed towards Yangyu. With a stab, it was as if heaven and earth had fallen into eternal darkness. Wherever the darkness shrouded, it was a massacre. Clang! Clang! In the darkness, the sound of swords clashing could be heard. Ling Xiao used the Cloud Dragon 9 transformation technique and transformed into a strange shadow, colliding with the sword light that filled the sky. The infinite darkness sword was sharp and strange. Almost instantly, it destroyed the afterimages of Ouyang Yu and found the location of Ouyang Yu's real body. With a stab, the gods were destroyed. Its sharpness was unparalleled. Poof! A bloody light flashed, and a bloody scar appeared on Ouyang Yu's back. Ling Zhao's eyes were cold. He kicked out fiercely, and the void exploded. It contained a monstrous divine power. Crack! Ouyang Yu's expression changed drastically. He hurriedly used his arm to block, but how terrifying was the power of Ling Zhao's kick. It could almost collapse a small mountain. With a crisp sound, Ouyang Yu's left arm was instantly fractured. He spat out another mouthful of blood and smashed onto a bluestone, smashing it into pieces. Ouyang Yu's right arm was crippled by the white-clothed woman, and now his left arm was also broken by Ling Zhao. His combat strength was reduced by more than half. Just like that, Ling Zhao did not give Ouyang Yu any chance. A cold light flashed in his eyes. The evil vanquisher ancient sword in his hand emitted an unparalleled sharpness and fell towards Ouyang Yu. Instantly, an unparalleled sword chi drowned him. Ah! A miserable scream sounded. Ouyang Yu's face was distorted. Countless bloody wounds appeared on his body as if he had been cut into pieces. Blood dripped, and his aura became incomparably weak. Brat, I'll remember you. The next time we meet, it will be the time of your death. Ouyang Yu looked at Ling Zhao with resentment. Enduring the intense pain all over his body, his innate earth energy erupted and poured into his legs. He suddenly rushed into the distance. He knew that he wouldn't be able to gain anything by staying, so he decided to run away. Moreover, Ouyang Yu felt extremely aggrieved. He was at the 9th level of the Grand Master stage. If the woman in white hadn't crippled his arm and seriously injured him, how could he have been bullied to this extent by a kid at the spirit transformation stage? Ouyang Yu secretly swore in his heart that once he recovered from his injuries, he would definitely tear this brat's body into pieces, leaving no one alive. There won't be a next time. Ling Zhao's indifferent voice rang in Ouyang Yu's ears. Ouyang Yu's body stiffened, and a look of disbelief appeared in her eyes. Unknowingly, Ling Zhao had already arrived behind him. How could this kid have such a terrifying speed? This was Ouyang Yu's final thought. Because in the next instant, the evil extermination ancient sword's unparalleled sharpness shot through the air like a shooting star, directly piercing through Ouyang Yu's chest. Blazing sword chi exploded, mincing his heart into pieces. Pfff, Ouyang Yu spat out a mouthful of blood. Her eyes were filled with unwillingness and fear. She fell from the sky and died. What a close shave. If he hadn't lost an arm and suffered heavy injuries, I really wouldn't have been her match. Ling Zhao exhaled lightly, and the sharpness in his eyes receded. In the battle just now with Ouyang Yu, it could be said that except for the violent dragon's superpower, Ling Zhao had used almost all of his techniques. Moreover, Ouyang Yu's Ghost King's slaughter was clearly an extremely powerful martial art. The second slash, Thousand Mirage Slash, exploded with power comparable to a middle-grade Earth-rank martial art. If Ling Zhao hadn't crippled Ouyang Yu's right arm at the critical moment and slashed out with the third slash, Ling Zhao would probably have to use the Violent Dragon's superpower to deal with it. Although the Violent Dragon's superpower was powerful, this heaven-defying superpower squeezed out one's body's potential to the extreme. To Ling Zhao, it couldn't last long. Moreover, after using it, there would be a very long period of weakness. Therefore, Ling Zhao wouldn't easily use the Violent Dragon's superpower unless it was a critical moment. Ghost King's Slaughter, the third move is the Slaughter Slash. One slash, all life. It's actually the underworld sect's martial art. Ling Zhao found a storage pouch on Ouyang Yu's body and found a martial art manual. It was the Ghost King's Slaughter. The Ghost King's Slaughter had a total of 3 moves, 7 slash, Thousand Mirage Slash, and Slaughter Slash. Moreover, Ling Zhao actually saw the skull symbol of the underworld sect on this secret manual. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of contemplation. It seemed that Ouyang Yu wasn't just someone from the great mysterious ancient kingdom. he actually had some relationship with the underworld sect. Ling Xiao gradually became aware of the forces in the Eight Desolates region. In the entire Eight Desolates region, there were 5 martial holy grounds: Sun Moon Star Sect, Thousand Beasts Sect, Jade Lake Sect, Underworld Sect, and Terminator Demon Sect. The 5 martial holy grounds stood at the peak of the Eight Desolates region and were fully deserving of the title of Overlord. Under the 5 martial holy grounds, there were 4 ancient kingdoms and countless weak kingdoms. These kingdoms and ancient kingdoms were all subordinate to the 5 martial holy grounds. 10,000 years ago, the Longevity sect was the #1 martial holy ground in the world. At that time, there were 8 ancient kingdoms named Heaven, Earth, Black, Yellow, Universe, and Chaos. These 8 ancient kingdoms were all subordinate to the Longevity sect and only obeyed its orders. However, after 10,000 years, the Eight Desolates region underwent a great change. Countless sects rose and fell, and the ancient kingdoms were destroyed. Today, only the Great Mysterious Ancient Kingdom, Great Yellow Ancient Kingdom, Great Flood Ancient Kingdom, and Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom remained. Among them, the Great Mysterious Ancient Kingdom was backed by the Jade Lake sect and had a close relationship with the Jade Lake sect. The Underworld sect's hand actually reached out to the Great Mysterious Ancient Kingdom. Ling Xiao only thought about it for a moment before throwing it to the back of his mind. I wonder how that white-clothed woman, the Empress of the Great Mysterious Ancient Kingdom, is doing. Ling Xiao thought and was about to turn around to check on the white-clothed woman's situation. Just as Ling Xiao turned around, a pair of jade-like arms hugged him tightly. At the same time, a soft and delicate body laid on top of Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's eyes widened as his body suddenly stiffened. In front of him was a beautiful woman without a single thread of clothing. Her skin was as white as jade, and her figure was slender with exquisite curves. Her entire body emitted an abnormal flush as she violently twisted in Ling Xiao's embrace. Her jet-black hair was like a waterfall, smooth and dense, and her jade-white forehead was covered in fine beads of sweat. She had willow leaf-shaped brows, red phoenix-shaped eyes, a fine nose, and a small mouth that was red and moist like a cherry, and it outlined a peerlessly beautiful face. This was a peerless and inviolable face. However, at this moment, her eyes were blurred and her face was rosy, emitting a bewitching allure. P.S. Many brothers say that Mu Yu's 3 chapters a day is very slow, but Mu Yu is not a full-time writer. Mu Yu has her own job. Mu Yu works at the court, especially at the end of the year when there are a lot of cases. As a judge, she doesn't even have time on the weekends and has to work overtime to write judgments. She can only squeeze out some time at night to write novels. To Mu Yu, the Eternal Emperor is like Mu Yu's child. Seeing that the brothers and sisters like it and vote for Mu Yu every day, Mu Yu is very grateful, so Mu Yu is ready to go all out. She will sleep a bit later at night and wake up early in the morning. From tomorrow onwards, Mu Yu doesn't know how long she can last, but as long as the brothers and sisters continue to read, Mu Yu will work hard to write well. Brothers, seeing Mu Yu working so hard, please vote for me, tip me, and bookmark me, hee. Chapter 126. She's, that white-clothed woman. The great Xian Empress. Ling Xiao was stunned. He didn't think that under the veil of the white-clothed woman's veil, there would be such a peerless beauty. Even Ling Xiao's heart couldn't help but beat faster. The white-clothed woman's arms suddenly hugged Ling Xiao's neck tightly. Her skin was soft and smooth like silk. Her delicate body emitted endless temptation, especially the towering saintess peak in front of her chest, which constantly rubbed against Ling Xiao's body. The woman's delicate fragrance entered Ling Xiao's mouth and nose. At the same time, a soft and smooth little tongue burrowed into Ling Xiao's slightly opened mouth. The 2 tongues intertwined. That strange feeling was enough to drive people crazy. A wicked fire rose in Ling Xiao's heart. He couldn't hold it in anymore and directly hugged the white-clothed woman tightly. Ling Xiao's hands roamed all over the white-clothed woman's body. In the end, he even climbed up the goddess peak. That soft and smooth feeling caused him to have an instant reaction. The two bodies intertwined and fell on the grass. The white-clothed woman's body became hotter and hotter, and her eyes became more and more blurred. Her red lips constantly fell on Ling Xiao's body, and she hugged Ling Xiao tighter and tighter. Just when Ling Xiao couldn't hold it in anymore and was about to take his spear and mount her, the white-clothed woman's mouth let out a hazy voice. "No. No!" Ling Xiao's body shook, and his eyes instantly regained clarity. "Although I'm not a gentleman, I can't take advantage of someone when they're in danger. You're lucky that my heaven-devouring secret technique can heal you. Otherwise, even if I'm unwilling, I can only use that method to heal you." Ling Xiao smiled bitterly and put the white-clothed woman on the grass. Most importantly, this white-clothed woman wasn't easy to deal with. She was the empress of the great Xian ancient kingdom, a super expert of the heaven realm. If Ling Xiao really touched her, he was afraid that when she woke up, she would go crazy and kill Ling Xiao. Therefore, Ling Xiao resisted the impulse in his heart and prepared to heal her. The sky-devouring mystic skill could refine all things in the world. Any poison or heterogeneous true qi could be absorbed by the sky-devouring mystic skill. Therefore, although the goddess undressing powder was overbearing, it could be neutralized by the sky-devouring true qi. At this moment, the white-robed woman was completely naked. Her body was alluring as she wriggled around, trying to grab Ling Xiao a few times. Her skin touched his, and Ling Xiao almost couldn't control himself. "What a demon!" Ling Xiao mumbled. He didn't dare to look at the woman in white anymore. His hands slowly lowered, placing it on the woman in white's abdomen. The golden heaven-devouring true qi flowed through Ling Xiao's meridians and entered the body of the lady in white. Within the white-clothed woman's body, strands of mysterious pink light were swimming all over her body. It seemed to be able to stimulate the most primitive desires in a person's body, emitting ripples that could make people confused. However, when the heaven-devouring true qi surged in, the strands of pink light seemed to be frightened and wanted to escape. However, the golden light surged and instantly turned into a dazzling vortex, pulling the pink light over and devouring it. Just like that, Ling Xiao operated the sky-devouring mystic skill and began to neutralize the poison of the goddess undressing powder in the white-clothed woman's body. Before long, Ling Xiao's forehead was full of sweat. He was sweating profusely, and his entire body was soaked. There was no other way. The woman in front of him was too alluring, and she kept wriggling, which was extremely testing Ling Xiao's endurance. Healing the white-clothed woman was more tiring than fighting with Ouyangyu. Ling Xiao could only try his best to restrain himself and not pay attention to the woman in white's body. Ninth level of the celestial realm, failed to break through to the noble plane, and her dantian and sea of qi were eroded by a mysterious force. Is she seriously injured? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he sensed the situation in the woman in white's dantian. The woman in white's dantian and sea of qi were extremely majestic, as if it was really a vast ocean. Her genuine qi was boundless and unfathomable. However, above the sea of qi, there was a layer of mysterious purple qi, which seemed to be preventing the woman in white from operating her genuine qi and eroding her sea of qi. Innate purple qi. Where did this woman in white break through? She dared to absorb the innate purple qi when she was only in the celestial realm. Fortunately, she was lucky. Otherwise, it wouldn't be as simple as a failed breakthrough. She would have exploded from the innate purple qi and died without a complete corpse. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of shock. He recognized the mysterious purple qi. It was the legendary innate purple qi, the first wisp of essence energy at the birth of heaven and earth. This innate purple qi came from the origin of the void of the world and could not be captured. Only those in the supreme realm could absorb and refine it with great wisdom and strength. The innate purple qi was the supreme spiritual qi for the supreme realm experts, but it was comparable to poison for those below the supreme realm. If it was accidentally absorbed and refined, even those in the noble plane would die without a doubt. Ling Xiao was quite shocked that the woman in white had innate purple qi in her body. After all, he was very familiar with this innate purple chi in his previous life. Fortunately, you met me. Otherwise, even if the goddess's clothes removal powder was cured, with the innate purple chi blocking your sea of chi, it would be impossible for you to break through to the noble plane in this lifetime. I'll be a good person to the end and help you to get rid of the innate purple chi. Ling Xiao muttered to himself, but his eyes were shining brightly. Others might not be able to refine the innate purple chi, but he had the sky-devouring secret skill. Although these few wisps of innate purple chi were very small, they contained the purest energy. If he could refine them, he would definitely break through to the dragon-tiger realm. Boom! Ling Xiao made up his mind. Suddenly, golden heaven-devouring true chi gushed out and formed a dazzling vortex in the woman's chi sea. Strands of golden light turned into countless tiny talisman characters, looking mysterious and ancient. The golden vortex released a strong suction force. Suddenly, the innate purple chi in the air trembled slightly and a wisp of it began to float towards the golden vortex. Great! Ling Xiao was overjoyed. The wisp of innate purple chi surged and was instantly absorbed into his body. The sky-devouring secret skill was activated and the innate purple chi turned into an incomparably pure energy that flowed throughout Ling Xiao's body. As if he had eaten a divine elixir, Ling Xiao's entire body was comfortable. The purple light was dense and it was as if he was about to ascend. Moreover, as the innate purple chi surged into Ling Xiao's sea of chi, his cultivation of the 8th level of the spirit transformation realm began to rise rapidly. Ha! As long as I can refine this innate purple chi, my cultivation will definitely break through to the dragon-tiger realm. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with excitement. Chapter 127. The wordless heavenly book burped like a human and emitted a trace of joy. The golden light on it rose violently and increased by 10%. Ling Xiao was dumbfounded. This was simply snatching food from a tiger's mouth. The food he had just found was snatched away by the wordless heavenly book before he could even eat it. This was a fucking bandit. The corner of Ling Xiao's mouth twitched. He was so angry that he wanted to curse. However, the wordless heavenly book ignored him. It emitted a flickering light and secretly laughed at the innate purple energy. Ling Xiao was depressed for a long time. In the end, he comforted himself. After the wordless heavenly book devoured the energy, it wasn't a waste. The golden light on it had reached 90%. When it was completely filled with energy, it would reveal a secret technique. Thinking of this, the depression in Ling Xiao's heart slightly disappeared. Without the innate purple energy sealing her chi si, the true energy in the woman's dantian surged and actually circulated on its own to expel the effects of the goddess undressing powder. Ling Xiao also saved a lot of trouble. A moment later, all the pink energy was devoured and refined by Ling Xiao. A powerful aura of life emitted from the woman's body. The woman in white slowly opened her eyes. Seeing the scene before her, the woman in white almost fainted. Ling Xiao's hand had unknowingly placed on her saintess peak and gently pinched it twice. That numbing feeling made the woman in white both embarrassed and angry. Her eyes became incomparably cold. You! Damn it! The woman in white struck a palm toward Ling Xiao, but a sense of powerlessness suddenly came from her body. The powerful true energy retreated like the tide and finally landed on Ling Xiao's face. It was like a caress, very intimate. Ling Xiao was also shocked. Seeing the woman in white go berserk, he was about to retreat. However, Ling Xiao also felt the woman in white's aura weaken. His body stopped moving and he looked at the woman in white with a smile. Is this how you treat your savior? If I didn't help you kill Ouyang Yu and get rid of the goddess undressing powder, you should know very well what would have happened to you. You really killed Ouyang Yu? The woman in white was startled and a trace of disbelief appeared in her eyes. After all, the youth before her was only at the 8th level of the spirit transformation realm. How could he have killed Ouyang Yu? The woman in white did not see the battle between Ling Xiao and Ouyang Yu. At that time, her mind had already been corroded by the goddess's undressing powder. Of course it's real. I, Ling Xiao, have slain supremes and slaughtered true dragons. I'm invincible throughout the world, and I'm the #1 person throughout history. Killing a mere Ouyang Yu is too easy. Ling Xiao chuckled. The woman in white burst into laughter, but when she saw Ling Xiao's mischievous gaze, she immediately reacted. Her face instantly turned red, and her eyes revealed a mixture of shame and anger. You, bastard! Turn around. The white-robed woman was so angry that she almost fainted. Only then did she realize that she was completely naked, and her entire body had been seen by Ling Xiao. Tisk, it's not like I haven't seen it before. Ling Xiao muttered. What did you say? The white-robed woman's expression was unfriendly, and her eyes were about to spit fire. Nothing. Ling Xiao felt that the white-robed woman was about to go berserk, and he immediately turned his head guiltily. The white-robed woman quickly took out her clothes from her storage treasure and put them on. Whoosh! An ice-cold sword light was pressed against Ling Xiao's chest. Ling Xiao was shocked and hurriedly said, Big sister, you can't repay kindness with ingratitude. Not only did I help you kill Ouyang Yu, but I also helped you neutralize the goddess's undressing powder. Even if you don't repay me, you can't treat me like this, right? Ling Xiao laughed bitterly, but he felt that the white-robed woman's aura was very weak, and the sword light behind her did not have any killing intent, so he did not resist. In the end, Ling Xiao was still guilty. It was true that he had saved the white-clothed woman, but he had also looked at the white-clothed woman from head to toe, and even touched her all over. If this could let the white-robed woman vent some of her anger, Ling Xiao would accept it. If you dare to tell anyone about what happened today, even if I have to chase you to the ends of the earth, I'll kill you. The white-robed woman said through gritted teeth, and her eyes were filled with shame and anger. She had already checked her body when she woke up. Fortunately, Ling Xiao did not do anything to her, which made her feel relieved. At the same time, she also had a complicated feeling towards Ling Xiao. She did not really want to kill Ling Xiao, but only wanted to threaten him. Your Majesty, don't worry. Even if you lend me a few guts, I wouldn't dare. I didn't see anything. Ling Xiao only turned his head with a bitter smile when he felt the sword light disappear. But in the next moment, his eyes widened. At this moment, the white-clothed woman was wearing a long white dress. Her figure was slender and graceful, and her hair was thick and lustrous. It was as soft as satin, and it was draped over her shoulders lazily, emitting a feminine fragrance. Her skin was snow-white, sparkling and translucent like jade, but there was also a faint blush. Her face was incomparably exquisite and flawless. Her pair of beautiful big eyes revealed an expression that was both angry and shy, making one's heart flutter uncontrollably. The white-robed woman exuded a graceful and elegant temperament, as if she was a goddess from the Moon Palace. She was untainted by the mortal world, and her beauty was peerless. Even Ling Xiao, who was used to seeing countless geniuses and beauties, could not help but be dazed for a moment. The white-robed woman's appearance and temperament were extraordinary, and she was much more beautiful than Nangong Qing and Lu Piapiao. No wonder she usually wore a thin veil on her face. Otherwise, with such a peerless appearance, it would be very troublesome wherever she went. Am I good-looking? Little brother. Seeing Ling Xiao's passionate gaze, the white-robed woman's eyes wandered, and she giggled, exuding a languid and charming temperament. Air. Your Majesty is peerless in beauty, so of course you're very good-looking. Ling Xiao was very thick-skinned. He carefully sized up the white-robed woman and nodded with a smile. You're so young, but you're already so naughty. You deserve a beating. Little brother, who are you? Why did you follow me here? The white-robed woman's face blushed, but she concealed it immediately. She sat cross-legged by the pool and asked casually as she washed up. The white-robed woman was not an ordinary person, and she had already concealed her embarrassment and uneasiness. At this moment, the atmosphere between the two of them was much more harmonious. After all, Ling Xiao was her savior, and the white-robed woman did not intend to repay his kindness with ingratitude. Chapter 128. My name is Ling Xiao, and I'm from the Great Barren Ancient Kingdom. I was planning to pass through the fearsome Beast Mountain Range and head to the capital, but I met Ren Tianqing from the Sky Escort Agency on the way. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and sat beside the white-robed lady as if they were close friends. He did not hide anything. When he talked about how the Sky Escort Agency was attacked by demonic beasts many times and how they met Wang Wei and the others, the woman in white's eyes flashed coldly. Oh, Yang Yu has been harboring evil intentions for a long time. He used Ren Tianqing and his daughter to set up a trap for me. Fortunately, Ren Tianqing and his daughter are fine. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to vent my hatred even if I killed all 9 generations of his family. The woman in white's face revealed a faint majesty. It was only now that she seemed to reveal a trace of the domineering aura of an empress. Oh. Your Majesty, it seems that Ren Tianqing and his 2 daughters are very important to you? Ling Xiao's ears twitched, and a thoughtful look appeared in his eyes. They are the descendants of an old friend of mine and were stranded in the Great Barren Ancient Kingdom. One of the purposes of my trip is to find them. The woman in white said faintly. So that's how it is. Ling Xiao nodded and said, later, we were trapped in the Blood Spirit Demon Transformation Formation and saw the battle between you and the chaotic demonic ape. After that, we escaped from the battlefield. I was very curious about the person behind the formation, so I didn't leave and followed you all the way here. I didn't expect the mastermind to be your Majesty's subordinate, O Yang Yu. The reason O Yang Yu set up the Blood Spirit Demon Transformation Formation there was because I was recuperating nearby. He knew that if Ren Tianqing and the others were in danger, I would definitely not sit idly by. This kid is really vicious and scheming. He lured the chaotic demonic ape and I to fight each other and then launched a sneak attack. This time, it's really all thanks to you. The woman in white said lazily. She could not help but blush when she thought of the goddess disrobing powder. She felt a lingering fear in her heart. If Ling Xiao had not been hiding nearby, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Your Majesty, I'm very curious. How did you find me? Ling Xiao asked curiously. He used the sky-devouring secret technique to conceal his aura, and his body was as still as an ancient well. He was like a lifeless rock. Ling Xiao was confident that a sky realm expert could not find him. Your chi concealment technique is indeed extraordinary. Sky realm experts can't find you. But my bloodline is a little special, so I found you. The woman in white said with a smile. Special bloodline? Could it be the Heavenly Fate bloodline? Ling Xiao's eyes flickered as he blurted out. You actually know about the Heavenly Fate bloodline? Who are you? The woman in white's expression changed, and her eyes revealed a trace of coldness. This was her biggest secret. She didn't expect Ling Xiao to reveal it so easily. Ha! I'm just guessing. I once heard from Ren Tianqing and his daughter that you're from the Jade Lake sect. The Jade Lake sect was passed down by Ji Hangong, a disciple of the Heaven Devourer Supreme, 10,000 years ago. I once read an ancient book that recorded some of Ji Hangong's deeds. He possessed the Heaven's Secrets bloodline and could see through the secrets of the heavens. You said that you have a special bloodline, so I immediately thought of the Heavenly Secret bloodline. Could it be that you are a descendant of the Cold Palace? Ling Xiao chuckled and pushed all the blame to the ancient books as he probed. You really have a good memory. The woman in white smiled faintly. She felt that Ling Xiao had a lot of secrets, but she didn't pursue it. The Cold Palace is indeed my ancestor. You don't have to call me Her Majesty. I have a name, Ji Feishuan. Ji Feishuan? What a nice name. Ling Xiao nodded and smiled. However, he glanced at Ji Feishuan from the corner of his eyes and said suspiciously, since you possess the Heavenly Fate bloodline, how could you not sense O Yang Yu's ill intentions? Could it be that your Heavenly Fate bloodline is defective? Ji Feishuan's body stiffened as a few black lines appeared on her forehead. She gritted her teeth. This guy in front of her was too despicable. She didn't know where her usual calm temperament had gone. Ling Zhao's words made her so angry that she wanted to explode. My heavenly fate bloodline isn't defective. Something happened when I was breaking through previously, causing the heavenly fate bloodline to be deceived. That's why. My sea of qi is actually healed. The woman in white said while gritting her teeth. However, in the end, her eyes moved and revealed a trace of surprise. The innate purple qi in her sea of qi had completely disappeared. The sea of qi that was originally sealed began to circulate slowly and was recovering with every passing second. Although her internal organs were deeply injured, the changes in her sea of qi still surprised and delighted her. When I detoxified your poison, I also healed your sea of qi. How is it? Are you touched and want to repay me with your body? Ling Zhao smiled casually. Repay your head. Ji Feishuan rolled her eyes at him. She was extremely flirtatious and charming, causing the world to lose its color. Ling Zhao's heart couldn't help but tremble. This seductress is really charming. At this moment, the sky was already bright. The sun rose from the horizon and sprinkled down rays of golden light. It was gorgeous and dazzling. The valley gradually lit up. The waterfall, the spring, and the bamboo forest were elegant. It was extremely quiet and secluded. The sunlight shone on Ji Feishuan's body, causing her to glow. Her temperament was ethereal and otherworldly, giving off a feeling that she was about to ascend. Her beauty was unparalleled and unparalleled. Ling Zhao's eyes were filled with admiration as they landed on Ji Feishuan's body. After all, having a beauty by his side was very comforting. Ji Feishuan's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. Of course, she was very clear about her appearance. It was enough to drive countless men crazy. However, Ling Zhao seemed to be different. Ji Feishuan could only see pure admiration in his eyes. There was no hint of lust at all. Moreover, this young man had a very comfortable and clean aura. Ji Feishuan couldn't help but feel a sense of closeness. I'm hungry. Ji Feishuan smiled lazily and looked at Ling Zhao with her big watery eyes. You're hungry. I'm hungry too. Ling Zhao glanced at Ji Feishuan and felt a little empty in his stomach. After all, he had exhausted a lot of energy after a night of battle. Now, his stomach was rumbling with hunger. Aren't you going to look for food? Don't tell me you want a weak woman like me to go. Ji Feishuan glared at Ling Zhao and said angrily. You're not a weak woman. Even the chaotic world demonic ape is no match for you. Ling Zhao muttered softly. However, he still stood up. It was indeed time for him to go look for food. Ling Zhao bathed in the sunlight and left. His clothes were whiter than snow and he looked elegant and otherworldly. Ji Feishuan looked at Ling Zhao's back and was slightly dazed. It seemed like she hadn't had such a relaxed moment in a long time. This young man seemed to have a magical power. He wasn't afraid of Ji Feishuan's identity as the Empress. Instead, he treated her as an equal. Ji Feishuan seemed to have forgotten about her cultivation, identity, and status. Today, she wasn't the Empress of Great Xian but a heavenly being expert. Chapter 129. The bonfire burned brightly, dispersing the cold air in the mountain. Ling Zhao had returned. He had plucked many spirit fruits and even fished out many silver spirit fishes. He washed and peeled them by the pool and set them on the fire to roast. The spiritual fish's meat was delicious and they were about a foot long. Ling Zhao smeared honey and various seasonings on them and roasted them until they were golden and fragrant. Even Ji Feishuan's appetite was aroused when she saw the roasted fish. Her beautiful eyes stared at the fish with anticipation. I didn't expect you to have such skills. Ji Feishuan exclaimed. This is nothing. If I claim to be second in cooking, no one will dare to claim to be first. Even supreme beings can't taste my cooking. You're in luck today. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Stop being so cocky. Ji Feishuan rolled her eyes at him. Hee, it's cooked. Have a taste. Ling Xiao chuckled and passed the roasted spiritual fish to Ji Feishuan. Ji Feishuan's eyes instantly lit up, and she quickly took it. A wave of fragrance assailed her nostrils. The spiritual fish looked crystal clear, and its meat was delicious. The honey mixed with oil emitted a dazzling light, and one look at it was enough to whet one's appetite. Ji Feishuan stretched out her slender fingers and tore off a piece. The honey instantly formed a thin thread that emitted white steam and aroused one's appetite. When Ji Feishuan put it into her mouth, she felt a burning fragrance mixed with a tender and smooth feeling. It melted in her mouth and a warm current flowed through her body. Instantly, her entire body felt warm and comfortable. It's delicious. Ji Feishuan exclaimed and started eating without caring about her image. This kind of spiritual fish contained a trace of spiritual energy. During Ling Xiao's cooking process, he mixed various spiritual herbs and seasonings together. The roasted spiritual fish was not only delicious but also had a healing effect. Ling Xiao's skills were indeed extraordinary. Just like that, Ling Xiao was in charge of roasting while Ji Feishuan was in charge of eating. After eating more than 10 spiritual fishes, Ji Feishuan let out a long breath with a satisfied expression. Little brother, your skills are really good. You're much better than my imperial chefs. Why don't you follow me back to the great mysterious ancient kingdom? I'll make you the head chef. Ji Feishuan said with a smile. Forget about it. I have no intention of becoming a chef. Ling Xiao was taken aback for a moment. Then, he smiled and refused. What a joke. In his previous life, there were only a few people in the world who could eat the food that Ling Xiao made. Even the average supreme being didn't have the qualifications to eat it. Ling Xiao still had many things to do in the Grand Desolation Ancient Kingdom, so he couldn't just go there. He could tell that Ji Feishuan was trying to recruit him, so he rejected her without hesitation. What a pity. Ji Feishuan smiled. She could hear the rejection in Ling Xiao's words, but she did not insist. I found this on Ouyang Yu's body. Take a look. Ling Xiao took out the Ghost King's Slaughter Blade Manual and a black token from his longevity ring. Both of them had the symbol of a skull on them. Netherworld Sect. Ji Feishuan's eyes flashed coldly. I didn't think that this group of cowards would actually target my grand mysterious ancient kingdom. If my guess is correct, then I'm afraid the Southern Zhao King is a pawn of the underworld school. The Southern Zhao King was Ji Feishuan's royal uncle, a king of the grand mysterious ancient kingdom. He had always been dissatisfied with Ji Feishuan becoming the empress of the grand mysterious ancient kingdom. He didn't think that he would dare to rebel this time. If the underworld sect wants to scheme against the grand mysterious ancient kingdom, I'm afraid that Ouyang Yu isn't the only pawn. If they dare to make a move against you, then they must have made ample preparations. Ling Xiao said with a thoughtful look on his face. The 4 great ancient kingdoms were backed by the 4 great martial holy grounds. Only the underworld sect's whereabouts were mysterious. Although they had a few small kingdoms under them, they didn't have a force like the 4 great ancient kingdoms. Now that the underworld sect had bared their fangs and was plotting against the grand mysterious ancient kingdom, their scheme wasn't small. Ling Xiao faintly felt that a storm was coming. Yes, the Southern Zhao King is also a pawn of the underworld sect. I just don't know how many more people are hiding in the dark. It seems that I have to return home as soon as possible. Ji Feishuan's eyes revealed a cold glint. The innate purple qi in your body has been resolved by me. In a few days, you should be able to completely recover your cultivation. Moreover, after this tribulation, your chances of breaking through to the royal noble realm have increased by a lot. After breaking through with the purple firmament godly sword art, you will be much stronger than ordinary royal nobles after reaching the royal noble realm. However, I don't understand. Since you can cultivate the purple firmament godly sword art, you should be a high-level member of the Jade Lake sect. How did you become the Empress of the Grand Mysterious Ancient Kingdom? Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of curiosity. I am the current saintess of the Jade Lake sect. Ji Feishuan said indifferently. At the same time, I was once the Grand Princess of the Grand Mysterious Ancient Kingdom. After my royal father passed away, he didn't pass the throne to my brothers, but to me. That innate purple chi was something that even my Jade Lake sect's supreme elders couldn't do anything about. How did you resolve it? Ling Xiao faintly smiled and said, didn't I tell you? This young master has swept through the 8 Desolaces and reigned supreme for eternity. I have slain supremes and slaughtered true dragons. What is a mere innate purple chi? However, where did you break through to the royal noble realm? How did you get tainted by the innate purple chi? This was what Ling Xiao cared about the most. If he could find the source of the innate purple chi, not only would his cultivation rapidly increase, but the wordless heavenly scripture would also be able to recover quickly. You are boasting again. Ji Feishuan glanced at Ling Xiao and said, I was breaking through in a forbidden area of the Jade Lake sect. I don't know why, but the innate purple chi invaded my body and caused me to fail on the verge of success and be seriously injured. This time, I also found out about the existence of the 9 Heavens spirit dissolving grass in the fearsome beast mountain range, so I came here to find it to heal my injuries. However, I didn't find the 9 Heavens spirit dissolving grass and instead encountered so many problems. The forbidden area of the Jade Lake sect. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. Perhaps there was information related to Ji Hanqi there. Ling Xiao made up his mind to visit the Jade Lake sect when he had time. 9 Heavens spirit dissolving grass. You are saying that there is a 9 Heavens spirit dissolving grass in the fearsome beast mountain range? That is the king of spirit medicines. Rumor has it that it can dissolve all kinds of strange energy and allow a cultivator to be reborn. It is actually in the fearsome beast mountain range. Ling Xiao was also a little excited. The 9 Heavens spirit dissolving grass was extremely precious to Ling Xiao. It was one of the main ingredients needed to cultivate the ancestral dragon secret art. However, the 9 Heavens spirit dissolving grass was too precious and too rare. Even Ling Xiao was not confident that he could find it. Now it seems that the news about the 9 Heavens spirit dissolving grass was deliberately released by them to lure me to the fearsome beast mountain range. However, the news about the 9 Heavens spirit dissolving grass should be true. This is a chi drawing stone. There is a trace of the 9 Heavens spirit dissolving grass's aura sealed in it. I don't need it now, so I will give it to you. Maybe you can find it. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.